What? Hello and welcome to potentially a Schmoll F-Art.
Yeah, we're starting already. I thought I didn't even get the chance to ask you if there's anything you wanted to talk about before
Well, it's
we
too bad.
started.
Maybe you should have.
Well,
Maybe someone should have come here sooner. Maybe someone
no,
should have
it's fine.
not waited till like 3 minutes
No,
before we're
it's all
starting
right.
to get into the to
Nah,
the
don't
room.
worry about
Oh, hey,
it.
that actually looks really good.
You mean my robot?
I like the what you did with the robot, the line
Yeah,
art, and the
in my
shapes. Very
in my
satisfying.
depression.
It looks like a taser was attached to a screwdriver and a wrench, and that's what the arm is made
Oh,
of.
you mean this one over here, the one I'm working
Yeah,
at right now? Yeah,
yeah.
something like that. I was looking at like robot line art, and it
Mm.
just like a lot of it relies on ball joints, you know.
Yep.
I think everything just goes back to ball joints. It's just about how they hide them, and I just haven't found any fancy techniques to hide them, so I just kind of put a wrench around it to say, yep, that's how it all plugs together.
I
And then
mean,
this is just all hidden.
yeah, that's good. Oh, hey, Bilsu. Hey, you lovely
Oh,
people.
Bilsu, you're
How
so
sweet of
cute.
you.
You didn't even have to. What's it? You didn't even. We didn't even. I didn't even announce it, and you're here. Oh, aren't you adorable? I'm really depressed, and Marsh is also really depressed. That's how we're doing. So, thanks for checking in. That was F-Art. Marsh at the stream.
Quick, push the end button.
Quick, do it before you can respond.
Mm. Ah,
Uh,
this is the piece the thumbnail's based off of. This is my Gobsona. It's an AO
very nice.
Jimbo prompt, but since I was so low on time, I'm like, oh well, this is my thumbnail now.
Well, I'm doing a robot because I draw robots when I get really sad. And then I thought I should probably do a comic because homework reasons. And I wasn't able to get any homework this week from my art teacher, so I thought I would surprise him with extra work I did.
It's hilarious because last week you were like, oh, my teacher is such a good teacher because he knows that breaks are very important and he shouldn't give homework on the breaks. And then
Yeah.
in the middle of your break, I'm like, I'm gonna give myself homework. I can't enjoy anything.
Well, I artificially extended my break because I had freaking I was supposed to have my lesson like yesterday. No,
Mm,
2 days ago. Today's Saturday, yeah?
something like that.
Uh, yeah, something like that. The day we usually stream. Um, yeah, I was supposed to have my art lesson on Thursday like I usually do, but I had therapy instead because I totally forgot that I freaking scheduled it at the same time, which is so stupid because I only forget that because in my therapist is in Switzerland, so it's Swiss time, which is 11, and then my art lesson is at 10. So I never register that, they're at the same time because there is a time zone difference of like 1 hour. So 11 in Switzerland is just 10 here. So my art
Mm.
lesson is at the exact same time. So I just mess up the scheduling like that. I've done it twice now. At least this time I was able to cancel. Last time I totally forgot and I had to do half and half of each. I did half an hour of my art lesson, then quit early and did half an hour of therapy.
Man, it makes me feel a lot better about daylight savings time and F
Yeah.
arts.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, here's something else to make you feel better. At least you didn't set an alarm for an interview. Go to the
Uh-huh.
interview early realize you read the ending time as the beginning time, and then the
Oh
time you
boy.
spent dawdling around trying to not be too early is actually you being fashionably late.
Did you still get the interview?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, that's nice though. At least they weren't like, bye. What did you interview for? Do you mind telling me?
Apparently it's like a takeout specialist or something.
Uh-huh, that
Like
sounds
a,
suspicious. What
it
kind of
does.
takeout? Who are they taking out?
It turns out it's my dream job.
Oh boy. Oh, Bills was also feeling depressed lately.
Yeah,
Nice Bills.
see, this is why I asked why if or no if Mercury was in retrograde or something
If
because
retrograde is a Mercury.
there's an
Yeah.
obscene amount of people who are just like hitting their peak depresso espresso recently.
Well, it's funny because then they say Mercury's gonna be in retrograde from May the 10th to June the 2nd. And I have a flight on May the 10th, so that might be fun. Uh, but
Oh
yeah.
shit, fuck.
Maybe it's just wrong. Didn't weren't you the one who told me that like astrology nowadays is all wrong anyways? Because the Earth has moved or some crap, so all our star signs wouldn't be correct anyways if we went
Yeah.
by like yeah,
But it's
which
really
is why you don't like
fun
talking about it.
because
Yeah,
it's fun to play with because it's rife with content.
yeah,
There's so much to play with. Kind of like how tarot cards are a meditation or introspection tool. But, you know,
yeah.
if you take it too far, it's bad. But if you take it to just the right amount, it's a really fun kind of exercise or
It's just
activity.
yeah, because you can just kind of giggle about it. Oh, no wonder I died and came back to life and then died again.
I got the
Mercury.
cup of Knight of Cups.
I got the cup of poop. Jupiter is in schmoopy poop. Whoa.
Takeout specialist gonna raise a eyebrow for this one. Yeah, it's I guess it's because of the big C having like a bunch of different policies nowadays where you know, pick up food from the restaurant and that's very common now.
Yeah,
Apparently they need a whole nother person to fill that role.
they need a whole person to be like, oh
Whole
my
ass
god,
person.
a
Yeah.
whole ass person to be like, hey, it's me. If you want fruit from this restaurant, you must perish.
I'll take you out like I'm taking out this burger
This
and
trash.
fries.
I'll take you out like your mama put you into this world. Goodbye.
I'll put you back in.
All right, you want to talk about why you're depressed?
Um, well, I'm 31 years old
Oh, say
and
no more. Nope, we're good. Yeah, please keep talking.
and
Why are you still
I
talking?
fresh out of
Goddamn.
yeah, well, bitch. Right out of college, I had a data entry job, which was cool because, you know, even if you take a small break after college, that gap isn't anything to, you know, it doesn't affect employers. And so, sure, I got a job pretty simply. And then after that, to juggle things, I drove someone else
You
to
drove.
work.
You
And you
drove
know
to
that doesn't
madness.
no, I drove to madness when I was like 12 years old.
Oh, right.
But yeah, so you know, that's not something you can really put on a resume, but technically I was like, "Oh yeah, no, it's no problem driving, you know, someone to work because then I can work on art in the meantime, no problemo." And then it now
Yeah,
enters the biggest gap in my employment history imaginable, filled
yeah,
with at will contract, you know, commission based work, which is sus at best. So I'm like, oh man, I need to make it look like, you know, I wasn't just doing nothing all this time, even though it
right,
says at will contract work. But you can do that too well. Now, if you do it too
yeah,
well, it looks like you're so successful that not, even though you're applying for God knows what job I'm applying for, It's like, oh, you're gonna
Yeah.
dip after a whole ass month because you just need to pay the bill for this 1 month. And it's like, no, I'm looking for years long commitment. I no,
Help me, I
please.
am going to starve. Look, we can fix that though. Like I said, you can just list me as one of your freaking what are they called? References?
Yeah,
Just make it up.
but
It doesn't
apparently,
matter.
yeah,
Just
but great.
lie.
Yeah, but apparently I don't need help making it look convincing. Apparently that it's convincing enough with the data I put in. What's
Yeah.
not convincing is she gonna dip after a month? Like that's
Just
the part
just
that they're not aware of.
replace the data you put in with fake data that says you won't dip after a
Yeah,
few
but
months.
what how do you do that? If I'm it makes
I
no
don't
sense. If
know.
you're
What
an
it
artist, no no
doesn't
look,
matter. Just
look,
invent a
if
job. What do you want to
you're
be?
an artist,
Astronaut? I'll pretend to be NASA.
look, if you're an artist and you're applying for food working, no one is gonna assume you're gonna stay there for very long. There's
Yeah.
just no way around that. If you're a successful artist, there's no way in hell you're gonna stay around for very long. How do you communicate that on a piece of paper that you barely got through to a human eye because the computer shat out the rest of the
Communicate in person and just tell them I am very desperate and ready to do the menial
yeah,
levels of work.
after the interview, that then I can do it, but most of my resume is going through computered hands before it even reaches
Uh,
a person.
just 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 put the words I am very desperate at the bottom of your resume before you send it out. That should alleviate some of it, you know. You get put into a separate secondary file called minimum wage the moment you enter the word desperate into your resume.
Yeah, that's great. I've been applying to minimum wage jobs already.
Oh, see, there you go. So it'll only help you.
It's the same problem, unfortunately, as much as I would love it to be that simple.
Uh, you know what would help is if I had
A
lots and lots
cliff
of
would
money. Oh yeah, yeah, you know, lots and lot of money from a career like Twitch streaming. That would be great if I had
would it?
lots of success
Would you
and I
like
could
that?
pay
Would you
my.
just enjoy that so much?
Well, I
Would it
would
be the
enjoy
best thing?
I would enjoy the moolah.
Mm-hmm.
I would enjoy bossing you around as my secretary.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't let you
Uh,
come in 3 minutes late to 3 minutes like before the bell for a meeting. No, I wouldn't
yeah,
allow
well, the
that.
meeting starts at 3, and I was there before 3.
Three before three, it only makes it better.
Yeah, exactly. I'm feng shuiing my life. How dare you? But yeah, please go on. Tell me, secretary, how would you improve my job? Uh, this is an impromptu interview. Maybe I can test your interview skills. All right, start. And by introducing yourself.
Hello, I am dead inside.
Oh,
I
hey,
see.
you're hired.
If I have no self-respect and I will do anything.
Yay. All right, pick up this maid costume and this name tag that says Bonita. And the 13 toilets need scrubbing. I have an entire floor that's just toilets, so I can test how fast my bonitas are.
It becomes an Olympics, a Bonito
Oh
Olympics
yeah.
course.
Didn't they didn't they make skateboarding an Olympic thing?
I don't know.
I think skateboarding is an Olympic discipline now.
I don't mind it.
I
They have to
I, I
be
just
good.
Yeah, I don't mind skateboarding. I'm just confused as to why skateboarding. I wonder what the logic was behind
Get
like skateboarding.
people that care about. It's probably the young crowd thing again, right?
But the young kids don't care about skateboarding anymore. That's like the young kids from 1994 who cared about
And look,
skateboarding, you
they're old
know?
enough to be athletes now.
Oh, no, they're way past their prime now. Like, your prime is in your early,
Uh-huh.
or when you're when how old
Uh-huh.
were you again?
Too old, apparently.
Yeah, there you go. Your prime is whatever is 15 years before you're
We're born.
pregnant. Yeah. Yeah. Any time period after that, and you're screwed. How do you like this tree?
Oh,
What do you think of this tree?
it
Does it look?
it looks like more webby or sticky more than tree
Yeah.
because of the texture. I can't quite tell yet that it's a tree because the
Uh,
texture makes it look goopy. But if you just keep texturing it, it'll look like a tree.
Here's my texturing. Whoop and whoop and
Fuck,
whoop. All right.
my
Yeah.
jive.
Time to talk about why I'm depressed. See, I actually can't. I don't think I can because I don't know how to put it fully into words. I just groan and go ah, and then you somehow
Mm,
understand, you know. But I don't know how to condense it for like public entertainment.
hmm,
Uh, People are very annoying, and I'm very sick of it. They're
hmm.
That's like the standard version.
Losing faith in humanity. It's very
Well, yeah, it's
condensed.
just a daily basis thing, you know.
Well, it's the
Um,
condensed.
oh yeah, you mean concentrated, right? Like
What
a concentrated
what's the
pill.
difference between concentrated and condensed?
Well, condensed implies like it sounded like you're saying my art my complaints were condensed, were losing faith in humanity. Does that sentence make sense? No, it doesn't.
You know what?
It
Just
sounds
go on.
I hate people.
Yeah, good job.
It's so tiring. I don't know. I think it's just so demotivating to do streaming right now. Not with you, because it's so easy to forget what the hell I'm doing when I'm just chatting with you. Because it's just like I said, it works to the benefit and detriment. Because I think it's just like two friends chatting, and then I forget we're live, and then I say something like, "Haha, abortion tiger eats 14 unborn children every minute she's alive,"
She
and
puts
then
them in the
you
coffee.
yeah, and then you after the stream you'll be like, you shouldn't have said that. I'll be like, oh right, I forgot, you know. But it helps me relax and it helps me like speak about random. Like it's so easy to ramble on, even if you don't respond actively. Like I can ramble on for an hour, even if you
Hmm.
just were quiet, But knowing you're there somehow helps me just talk on and on and on,
Hmm. Knowing that someone's
Um,
listening.
yeah, exactly. I guess maybe that's it. Uh, but like now doing like Twitch again by myself, it's like, hey, here I am talking for an hour so that X dumbass can jump in for 2 seconds and then tell me about how much they love art, and then I'm like, cool, what art do you do? In response, but I still feel like I have to engage because it's how you play the game, and then I end myself immediately. It's just that's like before I even finish streaming. There's like 14 knives dangling. You never heard of Damocles' sword?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, let me give a rundown for people who don't know. And Damocles was like this arrogant trucker, and he's some king in Greece was his friend, and he was like, "Hey, king of Greece." I don't know, was it Greece? It could have been anything else. But he was like, "Hey, king of Greece, isn't your life easy? You just get to have babes and money and power and like all the good food in the world. Like I would love to be you. Your life is so easy." And the king was like, "Damocles, you horny slut! What the hell are you on about? You have no idea what it's like to be king." And then Damocles was like, "Yeah, try me, bitch." And the king was like, "Try me, bitch." And then he made Damocles king for a day, but he did a little tricksy do, and he hung a sword above the fucking throne, and Damocles was forced to sit in the throne the whole day. And there were like tons of hot women around Damocles, and they were like, "Hey, we're so hot." And Damocles was like, "I can't concentrate on a boner because I'm thinking about this sword that's hanging over my head. I'm really stressed out." And then the day ends, and then he throws himself at the feet of the king, and he's like, "Bruh, that's shit stressful, man." And the king's like, "I told you." And that's Damocles' sword. In conclusion, stab me with a sword, please.
Yeah, yeah.
Ram the brain with a knife. uh, that's
Hmm.
how I feel because I don't know. Hey Bill, so do you want to come hang out on my Twitch? You should follow my Twitch so you know when I'm live, and then we can hang out. Because
Human
at least,
beings are bad sometimes, like annoying, hateful kind of bad. True.
yeah,
Humans too.
I think I'd have an easier time Twitch streaming if I had my beautiful little Bill Sue in the corner. You know, just cheering me on, even if you only show up for 5 minutes. It'll mean more.
Are
Out of
you
all the, huh?
are you sure you want to advertise before you're sure if you're gonna keep up
Yeah,
with it?
of course. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter, right? Because we know Bill Sue. Like, if I don't show up ever on Twitch, it just means I don't decide to do Twitch anymore. But I'll still be here for fart, you know. So,
I'll still be farting around.
yeah, so it won't change anything if Bill Sue follows me.
That's fair.
Uh, you know, unless he hates me and he just is here for you and me. To be fair, he's never. I don't think Bill Sue you've ever been to my solo streaming. Those are something else. It's
They're a
so
lot
hard to get
chiller,
excited.
actually.
Oh yeah, sure.
It's
Because
just
I
a chill
don't. I
experience.
oh yeah, but well, it's funny because it's more chill, but the rage hasn't subsided. It's more like it's just taking a back burner. I don't know how to express it. You know, it's just I don't know. It's so hard to come up with topics by yourself, and even more so when like I'm talking for like a freaking hour, you know,
Hmm.
before some fart comes in for 5 minutes, right? So what ends up happening is I burn through all the topics that I can think of in 1 hour. When I'm talking by myself, and somebody joins, I'm just sitting there like humming, not knowing what the hell to talk about. You know, it's like I am I'm convinced this is only an issue that like really small streamers have, because if you have a medium-sized audience or anything else, it's like somebody's gonna be listening, right? It's just like right at the beginning, I guess. It's just talking by myself is this hell on earth. I finally know what the slaves have been through. uh,
uh,
oh yeah. You want to give me some advice on it, Borscht? Got anything to say, Borscht? Borscht? Borscht?
hmm.
Borscht? Borscht?
Yeah.
Hey, Borscht.
I'm sure that's a drink. But yeah,
Oh my god.
gosh, when I talked about was my art process, and since there's always thoughts going on when you're trying to make something. There's an endless amount of stuff to complain about because art is paid. That's a
Yeah, I guess.
fallback.
Okay. Here, let me try. Let me pretend like this is a solo stream, and
Uh huh.
I'll try to. What the hell
You
was
can
it? I'll try.
pretend I'm there and imagine my irritating beration of what what you should be practicing, what references you should be looking up.
Well, it's funny, right? Because it's not like you don't show up to my streams when you can, and then you talk, but it doesn't have the same effect as when you're actually there in person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have problems. That's it. So-
Yeah, my brain is non-functioning. All right, let me try. All right. Oh look. I'm solo streaming. It's the Heck Show. Oh look, I'm drawing a robot in the clearing. Isn't that exciting? I have such hatred for humanity. All right, I'm tapping out. That's about as far as I can go by myself. Uh,
I'm trying to think about my emotional experience with
no, don't do it. Don't do it. You know what's gonna lead to, Borscht. Emotional experience. You're gonna. Oh no! Don't do it, Borscht. Borscht.
I was waiting for you to make a punchline for the the punchline is
No.
oh no.
The punchline is I can't say the punchline because the punchline would get us
Oh,
demonetized.
okay, I see. There was a punchline. I wasn't
There
my
was a
antenna
punchline, but I
wasn't
thought
off.
about it. I was like, I probably shouldn't say it.
I'm proud of you.
Wait, I'll say it in chat.
Uh-huh.
Here we go. such a good joke. Uh, are you checking it yet?
uh, oh.
Yeah, isn't that good?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite puns of my name for obvious
Uh, I
reasons.
was gonna drop it. It was gonna be so funny, but then I thought, Borsch is gonna be angry at me.
Now
And
laugh.
Borsch is
Hard and
gonna be
hard.
like, Borsch is gonna be like, Nick, you're screwing us. We're, I'm gonna starve this month if I don't get 4 views on my video. Uh, and then I say, the punchline is redacted. Yeah, exactly. Oh boy. You see, you like how I'm cheating with art now. Here's
Yes.
like one big fun establishing shot. Poop, poop, and poop. None of this means anything. It's all the same, especially this one. But I still love this one the most. Like, do you see this little bug doing a flip?
Whee!
It gets on the water and does a little flip.
Well,
uh,
I don't know if it's garbage per se. I think it's just like it's gold falling from the heavens because we don't have to draw such detailed backgrounds every panel. You establish the shot and then you just cheat for every single panel afterwards
yep.
until you have to change the location. It's beautiful. Thank goodness. Like, there is
Thank
there is a
God.
higher power at work. Thank
They,
God.
we've done it. We've achieved it. That's one thing I've noticed, I guess, is how much
Yeah.
comic artists really cheat. Except, I wish I could have taken advantage of it more, but no, I was caught up in my depression.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Uh,
Oh, that must be it. There's a lot of
what?
things I have to do for myself, and so that's what I have to rely on when the power of the people fail me, you know?
You have, yeah, yeah. You want to
Yeah.
elaborate a little bit before I cut
Well,
in?
it's like how art sucks and maybe someone doesn't like what I'm drawing, but in the end, there was a purpose for it to be made for me personally. So even if like no one likes it, then I'll like it, and that might be a new subject for you because you just only recently started drawing things you
Yeah.
even remotely started liking.
Oh,
Drawing
it's
for
funny.
fun? What's that?
Drawing. Yeah, well, it's funny because I never really thought about the things I like drawing. Turns out I like drawing robots, who would have thought? Um, but beyond that, like I never really put much effort into thinking about what I like drawing. I mean, here I have, oh, this is my head practice that I'm gonna line up. Like come on, here we go. Now these are fun, you know. I'm very satisfied with how Heck or Lur looks, with the floppy ears. All I really want to work on is the expressions and the eyes and like stuff like that.
Mm,
But like
yes.
even if these wings don't fit, I still like the costume by itself. If you just imagine it without the wings at all,
Mm.
you know, it still has that nice that nice flowy vibe. Here, let me just
And it's funny
approximate.
that you took to this from a reference that I kind of was debating on to give you or not because it had the line art kind of thing, but it was also very sketchy, so sketches are a little hard to learn from. But this is
Yeah,
actually reminiscent of a design you had a long time ago when you were playing with the idea of a cloak, because you really were akin to ponchos. And
I
you
love
can actually
ponchos.
see that in our old collaboration comics. Heck was in a poncho kind of like this.
Except this looks way nicer.
Well, yeah, just it's kind of goes back to sometimes it's not what something is. I forgot about the sumo. I like how that's what
Yeah.
you gravitated towards, and I was caught off guard by the fucking garter belt, the sumo
Oh yeah, the
suit.
sumo
It
boy.
looks more
Yeah.
angular than I remember it. The little
Oh yeah.
cod piece.
God, please don't. I'm gonna replace it with something so it
Thank
doesn't look like it doesn't look
good.
like a cod piece here because the angle is different. But I guess from this angle, it really does look like a little daipu.
It is a little bigger as well, I think.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, I can't see myself not making this mistake again. So I think it's easier to change up the design slightly to make it something else.
True. Very true.
But yeah, I very much like this. I also have to work on these antennae because they look very cute on moths, but I can't capture that same thingness. I just have to simplify them in a different way. I think the mistake I'm making is I'm drawing them exactly like children draw hair, where they draw hair like, oh, hair,
Uh-huh.
you know. uh,
It's
because
close.
yeah, but I could have
Cause
just done this,
yeah.
or something like that,
Yeah.
and it would have been more solid, and I could have added the lines in here if I really wanted to.
Very true.
But yeah, what do you think of him without the wings now? Does he look more appealing? I know
Yeah,
you
he
didn't like
does.
the wings
Yeah, I didn't
that much.
really like the wings. Well, then the heck I knew for, character wise was wingless, and he had some charm to that. And I imagine his silhouette without wings as well. Because
Yeah,
he's
that's
very like
fine.
squat and not regal and just kind of like Humpty Dumpty, I'm here. you know, he has
Yeah.
that like
Uh,
scraggly kind of motif to him. So if he were to have
yeah.
wings, I would probably make them like I don't know, tiny or just like flop,
Tiny,
and then
tiny wings. Yeah.
something. Who knows, but something.
Yeah, I get you. I'm definitely gonna play around with that another time. Also, the head shape as well. Like, I mean, I thought about what you said, where you could technically make any shape into a head shape. I was like, how the frick would you do that? And then I was like, well, what's a head? And a head is pretty much just shape and then indentation for the eyes. Because the indentation for the eyes creates the forehead and whatever this part is, the jaw.
Mm.
So by just adding one indent, you create two areas. And if you can just apply that stupid logic to any shape, then I can have like a freaking triangle, boom, indentation. Here's the jaw, here's the forehead.
Yeah, yeah, you
Work
getting it.
from that. Um, I still have to balance it because I made the indentation too deep here. I don't really like that. This one has a smoother indentation, I
And
feel.
indentation is more up on the head, and the eyes are lower.
Yeah, this one has. It's not as balanced.
Mm.
So he looks a little bit too anime-y. I'm not a big fan of the anime style.
Mm.
Um,
I'm just glad that you saw the faces of the face. Wow, that's not confusing at all. Thanks
the
English.
faces of the faces of
The
the face. You
planes of the face. There we
sound
go.
like a drunk instructor.
Yeah, yeah, my drunk instructor.
The faces. You have to pay attention to the faces of the face. Uh, my
Now
friend.
who's the drunk student?
Listen here, you little shit. All right, my friend was sent me there. Oh, the police! They're out
There.
here. Porsche,
You're
I
here
have
with
something to tell you.
0.8 percentage. It's
Oh
too high
man.
for a student. You have to. We're taking you in.
Man, every time I talk about class, the fucking engines or the freaking alarms go off outside. Um, what was I gonna say? All right, they sent me like a lecture from their professor, and I swear to God, they were complaining because they were like, I can't learn from this guy. I was like, okay, let me see what's wrong with him. And the reason they couldn't learn from him was because he was slurring every goddamn word he was saying. And there's like a little image of him like standing next to the projector in the video, and he's literally like he's moving from side to side, like he's freaking what's it called when a he's rocking back and forth, and then he's like coughing like very frequently and go at the same time he's going like oh blah, 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 blah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So that guy is definitely drunk. I would post it online if I knew what the legal repercussions were. Oh yeah, that guy is wasted. uh, oh wait, tree check. Does it look like trees now? Hey
Cheese.
Borscht.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, good. I'd hate for it to look like 32 virgins waiting for me in heaven. Oh yeah. All right. Here, wait. Like usually this is the point where I force you to come up with the next conversation topic and I derail it. But since I'm practicing how to stream by myself, let me see if I can come up with a conversation topic all by myself.
Uh-huh.
Watch this. This
Yeah.
is a parlor trick.
Yep.
All right, you blink and you'll miss it. You know, 1 minute I'm here, the next minute I'm gunning down 14 innocents.
I can do that by kicking you out of this call.
uh, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp. That's the only thing that's going through my mind right now.
Uh-huh.
The case ends in 2 weeks. That's so long, but at least it has like an end date. It ends like May 19th or something. They'll give a verdict, but it's just so interesting. It's like watching. It's like what we talked about last week with Bro Be Den, you know.
Bro, be dead.
Bro Be Den.
That's
It's
such
like
a fun
you,
name.
yeah. You look at it and you're just kind of baffled, right? Because freaking Bro Be Den and I guess oh god, what fake name can we the the whore who slapped Johnny. Uh she freaking like her lawyers are crazy. Like they seem like they're straight out of like a J.K. Rowling novel, straight down to their from their behavior all the way down to their names. You know, you want to guess what dumb bitch's freaking lawyer's name is?
Uh, I actually didn't look that up.
Oh boy, it's I only know it because Johnny said it. Can you guess what it is?
Bro, Pete in.
No, it's Rotten Boar.
Oh, goodness.
How can you hire a lawyer called Rotten Boar? It's like the most ridiculous stuff I've ever heard. If I was a lawyer, if I was a judge, and one of the lawyers came in and his name was Rotten Board, I wouldn't care who he's defending. I'd be like, "You're guilty. You're guilty."
This is like a
Uh,
decade-long campaign for a new movie release, and the villain is
they're
Ron
gonna be like,
Ford.
yeah, the trial is just a huge publicity sham, and then like next few days they're gonna start Wingardium Leviosaing like all over the place, you know, zapping each other with fireworks to simulate wands. Uh, but yeah, I can't believe their name is Rottenborn, and it's just it's so. You have you watched Harry Potter?
I mean, yeah, but
Yeah.
not the uh after Fantastical Beasts.
Not the ones after Fantastic. So you've watched the originals.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. You remember Umbridge?
Yep.
Umbridge was such a great actress, I gotta say, because she was so infuriating in a way that like perfectly conveyed her character. I'd have to say she and maybe Snape were probably the best conveyed over like a movie. You know, like it's like they're the book character in movie form. It's great.
Uh-huh.
You know, Alan Rickman is fantastic, and so is Professor Umbridge. But the rage that you get or that I got from seeing Professor Umbridge and like the way she treated students, it's like this ridiculous caricature of like bad teachers, right?
Yeah.
And it's there to enrage you, and she's doing such a good job as an actress because she is perfectly portraying like a frustrating, annoying person, you know,
Yeah.
and like that's exactly what the lawyers are like in freaking the Johnny Depp case. Like they'll say the most ridiculous stuff just constantly, you know, like they just like recently they had like this huge debate over muffins in court, you know, and it's like why? It's because what was it? They were trying to prove that Johnny Depp's and Amber Dumbface's psychologist was something about her being biased because she brought muffins when she went to see them one time, or when she went to see Johnny when he was preparing for his trial. She brought muffins, and they're like, "You brought muffins. You're biased, you know? And then she just keeps repeating it herself, like, no, my husband made those. I just thought it'd be nice to bring some muffins, you know? And they're like, you're a criminal. And she's like, no, I'm really not. And then they keep bringing it up and they try to trick her as well. Like in one instance, they were asking, like, so do you think mental disease is linked to like genetics? And she's like, yeah. And they're like, do you think it's linked to like do you think it's linked to like your upbringing? She's like, yeah, yeah, that makes sense. And they're like, did you bring those muffins because you were like Johnny Depp or something? And then she's like, no, can we please stop talking about the muffins? It's just, I can't believe this.
This is gonna make a
Uh,
great movie in like 5 years.
oh yeah. Oh my god, the frick, can you hear the horn
I
outside?
could. What was that?
It's I told you, right? I live right at an intersection.
Yep.
Uh, and okay, let me tell you, this intersection has the worst lights. All right, it's just poorly organized. They all switch at weird times so that everybody has to wait. You know,
Right.
if you're a pedestrian, you have to wait. If you're a car, you have to wait. And most of the time, we're all just standing, staring each other down while the people across the street, the cars are like one lane is moving at a time
Uh-huh.
across the street. It's like a four-way intersection. So it's just insanely frustrating, you know?
Right.
It's a four-way intersection at a bridge, right? So there's two four-way intersections, and you have to cross the street twice to get to the other side. Um, so no matter what happens, you're gonna be there for a while, right? But
Right.
every day there's people outside just honking it up, every day. It's like you'd think that at some point these people would wise up and just calm down because it doesn't matter how much you honk because nobody can move. We're all waiting for the same thing, and then you're just like wah, wah. And then the person getting honked at gets pissed, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna show them, and then they honk, and it's like shut up, you children. You know? God damn. So annoying. It's just the most pointless like endeavor. You know? It's like a bunch of big crybabies just going wham wham to each other.
Yeah, sucks when people want to have the last word.
Yeah. You know what was funny though?
But
The other day I did hear a couple arguing outside. I think I told you about this, right?
maybe. Oh, bye, Bilsu.
Um Bilsu, bye bye.
Thanks for coming.
Clean the blood with thoroughly. The police can find traces of it everywhere.
Don't forget to check
Anyway,
underneath your thumbnails.
yeah. Don't forget the light switch. People always forget the light switch. Anyway.
Make a checklist:
Uh,
ammonia, bleach,
if
lotion peroxide.
you need to dissolve the person, make sure to soften them first.
Gently
Uh,
apply the meat hammer to the corpse.
remember to vent thoroughly after dissolving. But yeah, where was I? Oh
Not
yeah.
sponsored by Febreze air spray.
Oh, did you see that stupid tweet? The stupid like, oh, I was approached by a saleswoman for poopy cleaning, and I was like,
Poopy.
what do you want? And she said, if you sleep with me, uh, I'll let you sleep with me if you advertise poopy cleaning for me. And I said no because I have an iron will. I am strong, almost as strong as poopy cleaning. The number one cleaner in this quarter. uh,
That's funny.
yeah, oh, it's such a great. It's one of my all-time favorite jokes. It's so stupid. But yeah, there was a couple arguing outside my window. I could hear her slapping the guy and telling him to go fuck his mama.
Oh,
Uh, because it was in Chinese. I was
right.
tempted to yell, but I was like, I couldn't see where they were. They were like around the corner or something. So all I heard was slap, slap, slap. Fuck your mama. You fuck your mama. Slap, slap, slap.
Uh,
I wish I could have asked him what it was about. People ask me why, and I'm like, I'm nosy. Do I need another reason? I love destruction. I live for chaos.
Just imagine you're having a heated argument, and then this nerd walks out like, "Hey, what you guys arguing about? I really want to know. It's just my curious. This is all I live for. You have to tell me."
You have to tell me. That would be even worse. Imagine like a stupid face like mine peeking out from the window, being like, "Hey, hey, what's going on? Are you guys okay? You need something? Do you need a water? I've got a water." And you just pour a glass of water out the window. It's down there.
I dropped it.
I dropped it, but it's still good. Uh,
Ding ding ding. Ah, that's my popcorn. Wait
uh,
a second.
wait, hold
Pause.
on. Don't move anywhere. Oh my god. You know what's fun?
What?
I think I just need the positive reinforcement when I stream. You know, like it's easier to make jokes when I can hear someone laugh because it makes me feel it tickles my ding dong in a way that
Uh-huh.
makes me feel
Yeah, that's
validated.
exactly what I wanted to hear.
Yep. My every time you laugh at one of my jokes, I get immense sexual gratification. It's just unbelievable amounts. It's purely sexual, by the way.
Uh-huh.
There's
Yeah.
no
No
wiggle
other
room
emotion, just only
whatsoever.
sexual.
There's no joy, there's no happiness or anger or sadness. It's just pure sexual drive. Every time. It's not. This has have been happening since childhood. uh, Good. I just love making people horribly uncomfortable.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm noticing?
Yeah.
I'm becoming a little bit of a racist.
You
like
don't
uh,
say.
like genuinely, because well, not racist. I don't ever care about somebody's race, but definitely culturist, right? Because like if you're black and you're raised in this culture, or in like if you're raised
Waste.
if you raised in this culture,
Uh-huh.
like if you're black or white or whatever, and you're raised in like the Asian culture, and then you're black or white or whatever, and you're raised in the Western culture, and then you're raised in like the Russian or the Vietnamese or blah blah blah. It's like it's all different. Your freaking skin tone doesn't affect how the hell you act, but your culture does. You know what I mean? Like your culture heavily impacts the way you act. You know, unless you don't let it, and even if you don't let it, it still will, because that's just how freaking culture works. I'm lucky to have grown up in a completely uncultured household.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm kidding. Of course, I'm so biased in my own ways, but I'm definitely getting culturist, right? Because I'm starting to hate a certain culture. Not gonna name any by name, but my freaking roommates, are peeving me off more and more, and it's starting to become more. It's starting to become worse because now I'm getting peeved off by stuff I normally wouldn't even care about, you
Mm.
know. But simply because they're doing it, I'm getting peeved off, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of like how service workers become more and more. There's this association and stereotype because they see the same stereotype over and over again. It's hard not to like
Yeah,
find patterns.
yeah. Well, what gets me is their reaction to things, like I told you this in private before, but
Yeah.
when there's an issue in the house, they don't come talk to me, they text me, in the group chat, and they don't text me kindly. They text me like kind of like a senpai would text his kuhai or whatever it's called, right? Which is like, oh, you gotta do this. We gotta do this in the future so that this is better for all of us. I'm like, my brother in Christ, how about you just come talk to me if you don't like something, you know? It's like
Mm.
there's no need, like one, like I told you, right? We have a broken fridge, and it's extra broken now. Like right now, the freezer is busted, so um, it's like all the frozen goods are unfreezing and freezing very rapidly, and it's creating like a hell of a lot of ice,
Right.
in the freezer, and it's just really nasty. So now they're finally like calling the repair people, you know. But the freezer and the fridge have been broken like since we freaking moved in. And then I asked them to call, because there's always like water pooling at the bottom of the fridge,
Yeah.
and and it's not supposed to be that way. This is like a fridge where there's no fridge light because the fridge light stopped working before we moved in, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like maybe we should get that fixed, and they're like, nah, nah, nah. But then they'll have the audacity to text me stuff like, oh, hey, we cleaned the water out from the fridge. Next time it's your turn. I'm like, brother, just how about we call the repair person and neither of us will have to clean anything, but they said it in such a like hoity-toity, like this is what we expect, this is like your responsibility kind of thing. I'm like, how about this is nobody, we just fixed it. What I mean, do you catch my banana peel?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's stuff like that, right? And I guess it's peeved me off to the extent where like I'm kind of finding
Yeah.
a flaw in anything they're doing now, even if inherently it's just a normal, natural human behavior. I'll see them drinking tea, I'll be like, those fuckers drinking tea again. Who do they think they are?
As you
Which
sip
I
your
know,
tea.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Which I know is like it, like there's no like probably no association like that, right? But they're
The
older than,
brain makes it.
yeah, exactly. It's just, I guess, because they're older than me, but they also still act exactly like me, which means A, either I'm more mature, or B, they're more fucking stupid. And while I would love to take the compliment, I am leaning towards B. um Gosh, it's like stuff like the way they talk is like how we talked in high school. What do the freaking Japanese call it? The like I'm a 13-year-old syndrome or whatever. You know that one?
Oh, I'm 13 years old and this is a deep.
Yeah, 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 something like that. Like the Japanese have like a specific word for it.
Oh,
And
I
it
don't know
defines
that
like an
word.
entire subgenre of manga as well. Uh, but the point is like that's how it sounds like when they talk about like life and stuff. I What was it? You know that phrase from Lord of the Rings? No, sorry, Game of Thrones.
Oh, Jesus
If,
Christ.
yeah, if you're king, don't worry. If we had an audience, they'd kill me by now. I was like, if you're the king doesn't go around saying "I am king," right? He just is. But the way they talk about the issue and like their world experiences is like the way people talk about when they have had no substantial real life world experiences. It's like, I've gone on a trip to this and this location, I am now wise, I know so much about the world. It's like, no, you don't. Shut up. Just be quiet. You know nothing, you are a fool, and that is all right as long as you can acknowledge your own limitations. you know and it's just stuff like that. What gets me peeved off is that I know they hold this smug opinion of themselves almost. So when I see them doing stuff like sipping tea, they here's this is what it is. They don't they don't just sip tea, right? They sip tea like on the balcony. Not no, not even on the balcony. Sip tea on the roof, you know, every morning. They take their tea up to the roof, otherwise they won't drink it. And I'm like, bless you. Is that sneezing or laughter?
Sneezing.
Bless you. Laughter would have been very supportive as well. Of making a mockery of them. But yeah, drinking tea on the roof normally is like whatever floats your boat, my brother. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But because it's such a like, I've associated with such a like, oh my god, it's such a like, um
Can't help but hate everything about them.
Yeah, I guess there's nothing too deep
Yeah,
than
it's
than
just the
that.
pure, unadulterated hatred.
Yeah, I guess. I don't think I'm well suited with sharing my living space.
Nah, not many
um,
are.
yeah, I suppose that that's just a summary. But yeah,
Territorial.
it's making me culturist because they speak about their own culture like they're better than their own culture, right? And it just makes me hate their culture more. Like they'll be like, "We're so much cleaner than our culture, other people in our culture." I'm like, "No, the fuck you aren't," you know. And even if you are, dear Lord, what are the other people doing? Um, it doesn't exactly paint like a great image. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. I'm glad I'm taking a break by going back to my parents for a little while.
Right.
For the first time in forever, I'll actually enjoy seeing my parents.
It only took a bigger enemy than them.
Yeah. Oh, it's like Jaws, but a bigger shark shows up.
It's like, oh, I miss you, other shark. Oh, it's like a shark, and then a killer
Uh,
whale is like
exactly. It's like, oh no, we didn't know how nice we had it.
bounding in from the
uh,
distance is this hippopotamus.
no god, yeah. In the ocean.
Yes, far away from the marshes.
Aren't hippopotami like the deadliest animal on Earth or something? Or
Basically,
were those elephants? I know it's one of the two.
I
It's like
thought it was
hippopotami.
hippopotami.
I just know it's well because they're so massive they just trample you, right? And they're more aggressive than you think, hippopotami.
Yeah, yeah. Good.
Ah, fuck me. All right. I've been getting even more into EDC stuff recently. It's just my new obsession, I guess.
Oh, you mean
you
the
know.
music type?
No, what the hell? I wouldn't listen to. What's EDC stand for? Electric Boogaloo.
I don't know. What are you
Electro
getting
something.
into then?
An EDC stands for everyday carry.
Oh,
What's it?
right.
Those people who obsess about like if making their what they take every day as efficient as possible.
Uh-huh.
You know, like It's
Yeah.
that's what I like. Yeah, it's so pointless because at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter, how if you spend like 60 bucks on like a special pen or something, or like 400 bucks on like a special bag, because at the end it would work just as bad as like just as well as like a freaking tote bag if you so chose, right?
It was no
But there's a
harm in it
certain
though.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I mean, right? Such a novelty in it that I enjoy so much,
Uh-huh.
like just knowing that I can like have a bag with like dedicated pockets to like this and or that crap, or like, oh, I don't just have a pen, I have a pen that also doubles as like a glass breaker, or it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's not just a wallet, it's a wallet that's like protected from electronic stealing or whatever the hell, and it's
Oh,
like
you
it
bought
got
that
like
one, did you?
no, I didn't buy that one. I still have my cat wallet. Did I ever show you my cat wallet?
Yes, you did. You showed me when
Yeah,
you bought it.
yeah, I still have it because I find it so I don't want to replace it because it's so cute,
Yeah.
but it's so poorly made in a sense, right? Like the person who made it is like a huge amateur, and it's way tinier than I thought it was. Like it's whatchamacallit, it fits like 4 cards, you know.
At least
I
it's
like
cute.
to carry more than 4 cards. Not because like I have like tons and tons of cards or anything. It's just that
um,
uh, I like the options. I like knowing that I don't have to cram more in if I have to.
mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll just be carrying cards for somebody else. That's happened from time to time. It's like, hey, can you hold on to this? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll put it with my other cards. Easy peasy. But with this one, it's like, nope, no space, and I drop it into a sewer grate and stomp on it.
Yeah.
And then I'll curse the man who made my wallet for making it too small. But I don't know. It's and like stuff out of titanium. It's so pointless. Stainless steel would work just as well. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme, right? But there's something so tantalizing about having something made out of titanium, even
Mm-hmm.
though it's so much more expensive. Just knowing that it's like this thing's gonna outlive me by 400 years, is fun. Like if I died right now and it got buried, this thing would survive. It will not decompose or whatever,
Yeah.
and like it will never rust, and it's stronger than iron, and then whatever. It might be a huge sham because, like I said, it's probably not that important, but it's still fun as hell. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. There was a
So that's
movie about ocean and the submarines,
yeah.
and it was this kind of like action suspense movie centered around oddities in the water, but the subplot was a decaying marriage. And this guy
Uh-huh.
threw his ring into the toilet that's like colored
Uh,
blue because that's how the sanitation water is. And in the
yeah.
last minute, he he's like, no, 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 wait, 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 I regret it. And he
Yeah.
goes, reaches in, gets the ring, puts it on, and then later in the movie, a door is closing because of security
Mm,
stuff, and
yeah.
he puts his hand in between, and his wedding ring, which is made out of titanium,
Yeah.
makes the door from closing, and that's how he survives that scene. Is
Uh,
and that's why my uncle
uh,
has a titanium ring.
there we go. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Now I want a titanium ring. You should have never told me that story. How expensive titanium rings are
Uh, and I hear that they can be troublesome in
in
like
bed.
medical situations. Like imagine if you suddenly started swelling because of some allergy you weren't aware of,
Oh,
and then
you
you were
can't
brought
take
into
it
the
off. Oh
hospital. And
no. You can't saw through it because it's titanium.
well, there's some I know there's some new technology with that where maybe you can't cut it, but you can crack it. You know, there's
Yeah,
some
yeah.
stuff like that, but there are metals to be aware of. Like
Oh boy. I
I don't
think
remember which
maybe
is which.
well, since it's like the purpose was to keep a door open, I think I can substitute anything else of like a solid shape that is titanium in there. It could be like a titanium triangle necklace, and I could just wedge it in between, and that would keep a door from shutting, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a ring. Because you know how allergic I am to everything, so it is
Right,
a
of course.
possibility that one day I swell like a balloon and die because I cut off my circulation or something, or I lose a finger. Uh, but yeah, I really I'm getting into it. It's just fun. I just ordered a pocket organizer. You know,
Hmm.
completely pointless, but it's hella fun because it I can organize my pockets more. Is it actually gonna save me space? Maybe, but it's fun to have. I like it.
Yeah,
It take
it's funny
we
that you're so used to the idea of it being pointless, where, my grandfather lived on a farm, my dad was a mechanic and all that, and I basically got a
yeah
ton of use out of my utility belt, which is essentially part of the whole whatever acronym you're using nowadays.
yeah.
Like and even when I went to a sculpture class, I was using my belt because that's where my pliers and crimpers were.
Wow,
And
you
then
nerd.
when I was carrying like, 50 pounds worth of textbooks and my bag broke, I used my awl and my little coil of suede leather to sew my book bag back together because it broke on
That's
the
pretty.
way to class when I was
See, I
carrying all
think
my books.
there's definitely a niche. It's definitely a niche that you would fit into. I feel if you had the money to explore it some more.
Well, I don't need the money to explore it because you can take basic
No, there's a
tools, some
paywall that
sewing,
no
some
no
construction, and
no
bam, you
there's
have your carry. Oh
there's
yeah, the fanciest ass thing I have is like a $5 tin like can with a coiled up saw in it. A
a
hand like
coiled up saw
yeah,
or
yeah.
like a handsaw.
It's like the
Why?
teeth of a it's for big wood tree thing. You know?
Well, I can imagine
It's
what
like
it's
a
for, but
rope.
why?
Saw back and forth with
Why?
it.
Yeah, but why?
Because
Why?
okay, it's either this or carrying around a machete, and which is gonna be easier
Well,
to
that's
carry
your
around, huh? A
preferable.
tin can, or with a little saw in it, or a machete, huh?
Well, all right. Who are you gonna be more scared of, huh? A Jason waving a little tin can or Jason waving a machete?
Okay, Jason has to take the can lid off, take out the chain, and start swinging it around like a whip, and then it'll match.
Yeah, sure.
That'll
But
be good.
the initial shock is diminished, you know?
Oh, who cares as long as there's a.
Murder.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
sure. All right, gotcha. Oh, all right. I've run out of conversation topics. Now it's your turn.
Well, it would have been great if the whatever I started before wasn't completely and utterly set off track.
What? I don't recall you saying anything
Uh,
important ever in
uh,
your life.
Never. Okay, what is your dream?
My
Fucking.
dream
No, no,
was
you
this
bad. Let me fucking finish, you
One
piece of
Piece.
shit. Oh my god.
The Kaizoku Onimabaru.
Cause you just touched the utility belt thing and then didn't even get into it. Like, what do you even want? Because mine has a Leatherman on it. It has bear spray. Well, actually, that one I didn't want bear spray, but my dad made me carry it, so it's just there. He got some like guy. Mr. Oh gosh, I forgot his name, but it was really cute. It's like
Mr.
Mr. Panko
Robot.
or something, and he's just this
Mr.
guy who's like the best at sewing and working with
Yeah,
leather, and he's like, anything you need, you just give it to Mr. Panko and he'll make it for you.
that's so cute. Gosh. So you're asking me what my dream setup would be?
Yeah, because since I was younger and even knew this was a genre, I was designing my own utility belts because I have a dream utility belt. I even had
Well,
when I was working
then
with leather.
you're already in the genre. You should just hop back in
It
and
doesn't
start looking
require
up.
money. Like, so you're in a very
Well,
different
I mean,
genre than me. I'm in the
no, it's
practicality one. You're in the
look.
La La Land one.
There's channels that are more dedicated to like the practicality side, you know.
But
And the best part, you know what the fun part is about
mhm.
being an American is you don't have stupid restrictive laws for
We
what
do.
weapons you can carry in real life.
Concealed and unconcealed are very different.
Yeah, but that's
And then
pew pews. I'm talking like the chop chops.
you also can't be like carry stuff into stores. They'll not let you in, even if it's just a
Yeah,
blade.
but look, I
Anyway,
think your laws
the
are laxer than like
they
Europe.
they're laxer in some areas, yes.
Yeah, because I
Depending
always
on Europe comparison and American comparison.
yeah.
Funnily enough.
Um yeah, I love knives.
Yeah, good.
I can't have
So
any because
that's
it's
fucking leather.
yeah,
So back when I was leather working, I
yeah,
you can mold leather with hot water and balls or whatever.
and
And
balls.
I bought a
Hold on
huge
now.
leather belt to make into my perfect utility belt. And I was just unpacking it after having it in my possession for a long ass time, and I realized it's too
Yeah,
big for me. The belt,
it's too big.
it's not even my
It's too,
size. This belt I was holding for my perfect utility belt just didn't fit me in the least.
why don't you just get it resized?
It's already fitted with like metal rivets and stuff. It'd just be a waste.
So wait, so you bought it already and then you realized it was too big?
It was packaged with twisty tie, not twisty ties, but the saran, not saran. It was packaged. I couldn't measure.
Oh, you couldn't. Yeah,
I was just
okay,
like, there's
gotcha.
no way this doesn't fit me, and I was right. I just didn't expect it to be too big.
Yeah. But I mean, what about the other worker guy you were talking about? You could have just given it to him and then
Yeah, he's in the
he would have fixed
Philippines.
it. Oh, all right. Well, never mind.
Yeah, if
I
if
mean,
I had
what's
the leather worker here, it wouldn't cost like a couple USD to get something fixed. It would cost
yeah,
50 to 100 ass bucks. And at
yeah.
that point, I
Gotcha.
might as well use my elementary level leatherworking skills to do whatever I'm doing.
Yeah.
Not that I wouldn't love Mr. Panko to make my utility belt, but I just can't
Yeah.
Can't
Well,
afford America, Mr. Pink.
why a utility belt and not like a sling bag or something to that extent?
I don't like
Or
sling bag because it hurts my shoulder. Utility belt,
oh,
even though it
you
can
weakling.
weigh one way or the other, it fits
Yeah,
my lifestyle. I've tried slings, I've tried belts, I've tried backpacks. I've done it
yeah,
all because I've been in this and I enjoy the outdoorsy kind of utility belt, the fun times. And
yeah,
after all of that, I just love the belt. The belt and leg pouches combo is
yeah.
perfect because you can
Do
take a gun
they'll
holster and you can put an axe in
yeah.
there instead.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It'll take you twice the amount of time to kill somebody,
Oh,
which
it's
would give them
so.
more time to suffer
If you're running around, you don't want it falling out. Like an axe wouldn't fall out anyway because of weight. That's how most
because of the
tool
handle.
belts are. With just a
Yeah,
ring. But if you're doing wacky stuff, you need something a little better.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, what else is there on your dream utility belt? You give me a run through. So we got axe, and probably gun as well.
uh, no, slingshot.
Slingshot, like which kind? There's so many. Like classic, like V-shaped slingshot, or like the pouch slingshots. You know the one.
This the one that you swing around, I actually don't know how to use, but I would love to know how to use it. But
Oh,
the
those are
the
like the
arm
old
ones
Indian
look so
sling.
cool. Like
The
as
arm
modern
one?
as it is, like it's modern, right? It has rubber
Yeah,
stuff that you can't basically find in nature. But it's so cool. It feels cool to use, even though it's just the old slingshot. But because of the arm
yeah,
brace and shit, it feels way better.
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't. Do you have an issue with using rubber because it's
It gets
not
old
from
really
nature?
quick. It gets old. How are you? Okay, let's. Here's my thought process. If this were
Yeah,
an extraneous, post-apocalyptic
zombie apocalypse.
situation,
Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to fix it. I wouldn't be able to depend on. I can't repair this tool, and that's what
right.
my thought process depends on. If it was an extraneous circumstance, how am I able to repair this? And I have a sharpening tool in my
Yeah,
arsenal. I have things that I can fix. I know how to fix. I know how to make. I know how to replace. Slingshot? Nah, I
yeah.
didn't. Mm-mm.
What? Okay, counter argument. If
Mm.
this were the apocalypse, why not use gun instead of slingshot?
I'm gonna. Well, this it would depend on the situation. The preference wouldn't be gun because one, bullets, two, noise, three, I'll probably just shoot myself in the foot or something.
Yeah, most likely. All right, fair. How about crossbow? I would love to have a crossbow.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to fix it.
Well, you can fix a crossbow. I don't imagine it's more difficult than a slingshot.
Well, yeah. How strong do you think you are? What kind of crossbow do you think you're gonna get? Is it gonna be a normal crossbow or the one with all the different wheels on it to make it easier for you to load
Um,
it? Same for a bow. Are you gonna have an actual
uh,
bow? Or are you gonna have the bow for people who can't pull themselves up a bar? Yeah.
well, the model I was looking at is the 2800 fuck you. And the bow I was looking at was the 4800
Yeah.
mind your own business.
As much as I would love to depend on a bow,
Yeah,
considering the ones that I've fired, I can't replace, repair, or do if it didn't have all these little wheelies on it and this long,
yeah,
long ass cord to make all the wheelies work. Nope.
right. How about spear? Spear is easy. Spear is
You
just a
can make
sharp
spear.
stick. Huh?
Makes there's things that I categorize as you can make and you should start off with. Spear is something you can make, so I don't have to consider it into my arsenal because with the tools that I have with my utility belt, I could just make spear.
How expensive do you think it would be to have a spear that is pure titanium?
I'd like to see you lift that.
Isn't titanium supposed to be light?
I don't fucking know.
I thought it was like, hey, what if you had all the best parts of steel, but it was as light as aluminum, titanium, you know?
Hmm.
Wasn't that the point?
Have you ever held a aluminum? It's
Aluminum.
hallucinating aluminum. It's the best metal in the world. I
Aluminum.
don't know. I imagine
Don't
it'd still
touch the
be heavy because
aluminum.
if you ever lifted up an aluminum blade before, not
It's
like
been
airplane blade,
stabbed
it's
by a
like
blade made out of aluminum.
it's still like an aluminum bike as well. It's still fucking heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, sure, but okay, look, this is like a decadently expensive and unnecessary thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, sure.
So let's say I bought you one just to spite you,
Okay,
which
I'll use it to practice pull ups, so maybe one day I can use it to catch fish.
the aluminum bar.
Aluminum. I'll tell it
uh,
jokes and it'll laugh because I'm hallucinating it
I
laughing.
mean, if I had the money, I would buy you a. I think the first thing I would get you if I was exorbitantly rich is a van, so you can do van lifing. You know.
Right.
So first of all, you don't have to live in your hobo hole anymore. Two, you don't have to live in your hobo hole anymore. Three, no longer is there a need for the hobo hole. And four, nature and stuff. I don't know. I'm sure they could design one that fits two people and is for artists. I mean, I've seen some crazy builds out there. There's one that fit a couple, and they were both music songwriters, and they had a freaking recording booth that also doubled as their bathroom. But don't pay attention to that part. Uh, but they
It
had like
wouldn't
a
be hard. That's for
yeah,
sure.
they had a recording booth in their thing, which was just so amazing to me, you know. And
Yeah.
the funny thing is, like, the best van life vans I've seen have never been those made by couples or those by like people who've planned it out for years and years. You know, the
What?
best ones I've seen are always made by like people who are like, yeah. And I was like, I bought this van. And I just started building it. I was like, oh, this is good. you know.
Yeah, aren't those
Um,
the same people? Like the people who repurpose trucks and buses and shit?
oh yeah, no, I
Or
mean
make
like
their
the
own houses
yeah,
on
yeah, yeah, yeah.
a trailer.
Yeah, my point is that the people who I've seen make the most compact and like imaginative designs are not the people who planned it out. It's the people who just kind of winged it, you know what I mean?
Oh, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, like when they talk in the interviews, they like obviously you have like the freaking couples who are like, "Oh, we've been working on this for 3.5 years, and it's our dream, and it'll look like the most generic poopy crap ever," you know?
Some
Like
people
you
just
know
aren't
the
imaginative.
yeah, you know the studio thing I told you about with the
Yeah.
people who had the studio booth? Oh wait, no, it wasn't them. It was somebody else. Somebody else had a live wire in their shower. And they were like, it's no big deal. I just turn off the electricity to that section before I get in. I'm
What?
like, how why? Why would you
It's just
design it that way?
stupid.
Yeah, it's like it's so
Like you
dumb.
can't lump the foolish in with this. We don't consider. We
Well,
don't
yeah, that was like
acknowledge
the
them.
peak. I will admit that was like the peak of stupidity I saw. But like the other designs were just super unimaginative. My favorites are the ones who have the fold down bed on the side of their vans. You know, like some people turn their couches into like the bed, and that just seems nasty. And the smartest people I think are always the ones who do like the Murphy bed thing, and they just fold their bed over like the kitchen counter and use that as like their support or whatever,
Yeah,
and then it just
the one I was
yeah.
building was top of drawer.
Oh, you're
Uh,
building one? What happened to it?
oh, well, you know what it's my biggest example for getting old and
Failure?
having to make choices. Like
Oh.
if I had all the time, I would learn how to make slash fix a car so I could, potentially live in it. But that knowledge is almost as vast as the art knowledge. And so because I only had so much time, I had to pick between like trying to juggle this thing that I couldn't invest all my time into or, art. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
was gonna try and live in a bus when I was going to school, and so I emptied out a
yeah,
school bus of all the seats, and
yeah.
made some really nice shelves above the windows, and then the desk was parallel to the bottom of the windows, and if I remember correctly, the desk folded up so it would cover, a view from the street, and then
Yeah,
the drawers that were underneath it you could pull out, and then it just became like the bottom part of the bed. Yeah, I think that was it.
right. That's pretty nice.
Yeah,
It's
that's
funny
fun.
because it's funny because how do you say, a bus would fit like a regular person, and you're so small it would be like a luxury home to you, like a duplex, you know. You could put in a tiny staircase. I mean, you would probably never be able to drive it unless you got stilts, but hey,
Uh-huh.
you know, the rest is pretty good.
Yeah.
uh, oh gosh, I love how, I don't know how you, if you heard or not, but then, like 10 minutes ago, everybody was in here at the same time.
Yeah,
Another reason why I
clang
love
clang.
streaming.
Cling
Yeah,
clanging.
and now everybody is left, and they have also left the door open to the kitchen. So I'm gonna try and stretch my mic, and
You
without
could just
leaving.
get up
No,
and
shut up.
close the,
Shut
and
your
you know,
mouth.
I can survive for like two
No,
seconds.
no, I reached it. I did it.
Yep, well, good good job, you incessant.
Ah. You know what? Another wildlife saw that was a bus. It's
What
funny
what?
because you said bus, right?
Yeah.
It's like the design itself is not the issue. The issue was that they lived together as a family of six, and it was mom, dad, and four children who had to share a tiny, teeny section in the back of the bus. And the only thing I could think was, I don't care how happy y'all seem you are. This is child abuse. You gotta give children their private space. Where the hell are they gonna jerk off? You know, where the hell are they gonna like pee pee poo poo in peace while jerking off? Where are they gonna put their stuff that they like to jerk off with? You know, it's like you gotta give them some privacy. And they're like, the children love it, and the children look like they're having the time of their lives. Granted, they're like all pre-puberty, but when puberty hits, like, how are you gonna sustain this? Like, one girl was like 13. It's like she's definitely thinking about freaking boys or something, you know. And people are gonna imagine being like in an argument with your parents, or in an argument with one of your three siblings, and then you're like, just leave me alone. And then what are you gonna do? Where are you gonna go? You're in the same bus, you know. It's like endlessly, all the comments were like, oh my god, this is so good, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, call child protective services. You know, you gotta remove these kids from this environment, you know. And they were homeschooled by these fucking idiots, you know. It was like because they couldn't go to school, obviously, if they're driving around all the time like freaking hobos. And it's just, I don't know. Like like two people in a bus, I get it. Three, sure. Four, all right, maybe it's a tight squeeze, but I can imagine it. But five, six, come on, you know. It's like, don't do
I
this.
mean, it's weird. I could be on the fence on this because that just sounds like what my parents had to deal with when they were in the Philippines. Like, how
Yeah.
different is it exactly from outside of the luxuries that we get to see and experience?
Oh, that's true. But if
'Cause-
you can spend like 200,000 renovating a bus, you can fucking pull together some money. And I don't know what the housing market is, but get an apartment or something. Get these kids their own rooms, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. It's something to consider for sure. Like, how much space? Maybe it's something that society hasn't been able to determine yet, but maybe one day, child human rights will have size of
Child
your
humor.
room, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Um, it's funny, right? Because it seems so natural to me. I guess I grew up with so much like privacy because my parents were incredibly neglectful. You know, I can't imagine like having to share my space. Maybe that's what's bothering me now in my IRL situation. It's just I like my own space, and I don't like sharing my space. You know, combine that with people who seem like they're trying to like assert themselves, and it adds into this like, I will destroy anything you care for mentality from me,
Uh-huh.
you know.
Yeah, Yeah, like that could be it. Everything traces back to something from childhood.
Yeah, it usually does. Like your obsession with being stupid.
Yeah, because I was hit by the stupid when I was young, and so now I just can't get over it.
Yeah, it's a real shame. 1 in 4 people is affected by stupid. Call your local agency now. If you have stupid,
Uh-huh.
please consider this. One, an umbrella. Two, a shower cap.
Uh-huh.
Three, bleach and ammonia. Four, pen and paper. Five, 12 gauge shotgun. um, you can see where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yep, there you go. No need for me to say anymore, huh? uh, but yeah. How do you like the forest, Borsch?
The forest is good. I thought you were drawing something very different when you were drawing the mouse.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is very
uh,
funny because it was during the conversation of the stupid.
that's
It's very
stupid.
fitting, really.
If you feel like you've contracted stupid, do not be afraid to contact your local immigration's office.
As it looks like you're drawing something very phallic.
Freaking Freud. Okay, there. Freud. Freud.
Freudian tire.
Freud. Freud entire.
Freudian tire.
Uh,
True Adventures of Martian Freud.
have I ever told you that my therapist believes in witchcraft? Have I ever told you that my therapist believes in witchcraft?
That's cute.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because she we were talking about death recently, and she starts going on about this psychologist who was like a super studious professor or something, and then they
Hmm.
had like an enlightenment and they could see the like what happened to souls after they died or something. And I mean, this is coming from my psychologist. She did not end this story with and then she had schizophrenia. She just continued being like she was like, yeah, if this studious person like can suddenly believe this, who's to say it's not true, right? I'm like, I think she meant it to comfort me. And then I
What
was
did it
like,
do?
well, I was like, well, so instead of the endless darkness of death, perhaps there's an endless void of being alone after death, with my soul just floating around in like in stasis, just by itself. Um, and then she's like, "We'll talk about it next time." I'm like, oh, "Okay."
That's a really
uh,
funny thing because I think I heard another story that was kind of similar to that, where the therapist was trying to comfort them, but it just gave them something else to worry about. Like, oh, maybe it was that people don't actually care about what you do. Like maybe you do something embarrassing. People really don't give a crap. They're gonna forget. They're too busy fussing about their own
yeah.
lives that they're not gonna remember one little thing you did wrong. And then the person was like, "People don't care about you." And yeah, they just gave them new anxiety to worry about.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Oh boy. Has that ever happened to you where somebody tried to comfort you and it just made things so much worse?
Not
Like
really.
in a different direction. Oh well, congratulations, you know me now. We can we can get there.
Well,
What's
it's because the things that bother me are like along the lines of what important people think about my character, probably.
hmm,
Because I don't get
what?
existential dread necessarily. I think I
Yeah,
know what it is and stuff. Like I'm not uh, immune to the sensation, but I have this weird warped logic, and so
yeah.
because
I kind
people get depressed with the whole you never actually touch people, but
oh because of atoms or whatever.
yeah, but you can call it whatever you want. I'm still gonna
Yeah,
get endorphins whenever when I touch, waffle, for
the
example.
pee
'Cause it's like,
pee. Yeah, when I touched
right,
it in the
uh-huh, yeah. This, so it's
yeah,
like
just like how if I
great.
punch you in the face,
It's still gonna
I'm still gonna
hurt.
Yeah, is it gonna hurt? I didn't touch you, did I? And then I start beating you. Oh, I'm guessing this frying pan won't touch you either. Yeah,
Imagine a smart ass sibling with that knowledge. Like, oh, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. Except it's
yeah,
now just 10 times worse.
yeah, I'll be like, "Me neither," and deck them across the room. Um, it's funny, right, that you don't have this existential dread. 'Cause, my friend doesn't have it either, and you 2 are like, I don't know why I have it and y'all don't. I know my friend doesn't anymore. He's the guy who he had, like, the regular fear of death that a lot of people have, and then he got hit by a truck and died, and then he came back to life, and he's like, "Nope, I'm no longer I no longer fear death," you know? He's like, "I've been there, done that," you know?
Yeah, yeah.
He's got this, like, almost super depressing, but also super just non no nonsense attitude about death. He's like, I don't believe in any god. I don't believe in any afterlife. You know, when we die, it'll be like it was before our birth. Sayonara, and you know.
Yeah.
And then he just doesn't think about it at all. But to me, I guess it's I don't think in those terms. Like I know the logic behind it, but the kid inside of me is like, no, ay, Dios mío, no, ay, papi. The inner me is Spanish, by the
Yeah,
way.
cool. I didn't know that. No, I should have realized that when you needed a maid named Juanita.
Yeah, bonita. It gives me comfort. But yeah, it doesn't. For some reason, I don't. It doesn't help me at all. You know, because
Right?
I guess I think about it too much, like a kid would. I'm just like, I've been trying to hash this out in therapy for like the last like 15 fucking sessions. Not that long, but like quite a few. You know,
Mm.
and my therapist keeps trying to what she keeps trying to link it to is like some repressed trauma I had when I was a kid, because that happens, you know, when some people have like a near death experience as a child. They um they internalize it and they forget about it, and then they fear it later, you know. But I don't have anything like that, and we dug and dug and dug. I don't find I have any repressed trauma about like almost dying. I think the only thing I can remember is one day realizing that I was mortal and it freaking me the fuck out. Just like a 8-year-old little like heck being like, I'm mortal and death is inevitable. You know, and then being like, ah,
I
and then just
mean,
yeah,
yeah, I don't think it has to come from anything because if we look at your personality, you're all about, completionist. You're all about the what's the sensation that we talk about in games where it's the feeling of being left out. And that's what game designers nowadays prey upon with the gacha system and daily logins, where they prey upon the
yeah,
feeling of losing out on something. And that's how they get you to play their game
yeah, yeah,
for long
yeah,
periods of time. And your personality is very geared towards those kinds of things. And so, of course, death fits right into that, where you're
yeah,
told that you'll never have something again, and all that, and then of course it's gonna freak you out. And if you
yeah. I guess
obsess
that's
over
true.
a game and and you can't even look at the achievements, and you can't play certain games because of the achievements, then you could obsess over death too.
I guess it would have just been easier if it was some childhood trauma in a way, right? Because then you can overcome the trauma, and then in theory the source of your fear is gone now, so the fear shall go with it, you know.
Oh,
um
I guess you
oh
found it in a
gosh,
different form though. It's basically all your other problems now branching out to life and death.
yeah. Well, it's funny, therapy, it always feels like everything goes back to childhood, but then sometimes it feels like it never does, you know.
Yeah.
um that's why I stopped going to my old therapist. Well, A, it was because I'm moving, and B, like I was moving at that time, and B, it was just because I was coming in and I was talking about how depressed I was at school, because like school just sucked as an environment. And he
Uh-huh.
was just like, let's talk about your childhood. I'm like, my brother, this has nothing to do with childhood. It's happening right now. This is nowhood. bro. You know, how is it gonna help me to talk about when I was like a little wee boy? Doesn't help at all. And I was just like, screw it, I'm out of here. Peace. um, I think I paid in advance or something, so I didn't even get my money back. But whatever. Guy was super kind, so I'm glad they give him the money. You know.
Yeah.
He also gave discounts, so it probably evens out at the end of the day. You know, he's really like one of those like super nonchalant people. It's like, we're doing like 10 sessions. Let's say like, I don't know, give me like $800 discount. You know, we just give him the money. He's like, cool, all right, see ya. You know, it's like it seems like he makes these prices up on the whim. You know, like he doesn't really care what he's paying.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, he's a fun guy. No, or should I say a fun guy? Ha, he did a lot of shows.
Did he really?
I don't know.
It'd be really
Maybe.
funny if he did.
Oh boy. I mean, he could have. He was such a. I just told you about him, right? He wore a gold chain and like open T-shirts with like V-necks, and he had
Ooh.
like he would sit instead of sitting behind a desk, he would sit behind a piano, and uh
Dude.
he would just feed his bunnies mid-session, and then sometimes he would open the door in the summer, and he'd be like, "There's a squirrel that likes to come around here," and then you just grab a handful of nuts and walk outside and go like in the middle of the session, and then the squirrel would pop out of nowhere and start
Oh my,
eating out of it. And
that
I was
just
like,
that's a magical experience. What the fuck?
yeah, that guy is sensational, you know.
An actual character out of a story.
Yeah, it was amazing the things he did, you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
What the
and
hell?
it's just he would just like do all of these like mid-session. He'd just interrupt whatever the hell we were saying. Sometimes he'd interrupt himself just to go deal with his animal stuff, you know. Oh boy, yeah, he was great. But yeah, um, what was it? I haven't heard from him in a while. Maybe if I'm ever back in Germany, I'll pop on by. If you like remember me, then I'll pull a gun, scare the crap out of him,
Yeah.
freak him out a little bit, and I'll be like mind freak. I don't know what was Ashton Kutcher's show? Kurt pranked. What was it?
Oh,
Punk.
you're asking the wrong person.
You've been punked. Yeah, it was like an old show or something. Oh boy. But yeah. Anyways, what do you want to talk about next?
Well, we never got the answer of what's in your fucking dream belt, so we could go back to that
Oh,
if we really
Christ.
wanted to.
Sure. I forgot about that. So I wouldn't have a belt. I like my sling bags. I have a few sling bags now. I honestly didn't mean for it to become a collection. It kind of happened by accident because I was just improving on every previous sling bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, my
Like
dad
I
is
had,
sling bag as well, actually.
yay! I am your father. Hello, Jory.
Now
I'm back from the
explains
war.
why there's this much dislike.
uh, look, what was it? Yeah, look. So my first sling bag was like a turtle shell sling bag. Like it had this really hard shell on the outside that's like bright red and it looks super cute and it has decent interior space, but it also had like a built-in cable so that I could plug a power bank in and charge my phone from the outside.
Uh-huh.
But the thing about it was I couldn't remove the cable. So every time I opened my bag, I had like a cable just stuck in there that was flopping around. It really bothered me. So I was like, okay. And also it was tiny. It was like a tiny, tiny bag, right? So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll upgrade to a bigger model. So I got a bigger model with more pockets, but this one was too big. It was like a mini backpack at this point. You know, it wasn't a sling bag anymore. It was a mini backpack. And had way too much space, and the insides were pitch black, so I couldn't see jack shit when I opened it. You know,
Uh-huh.
especially at night, I'd try and find stuff, but I couldn't because it was pitch black inside the freaking bag. And so I ditched that one. Now I got an even smaller sling bag, which has like more efficient pockets. But what I'm
Uh-huh.
noticing is it is too small.
Yeah.
So I'm like looking at now I'm looking at an option that doesn't have a built-in cable, is small but not too small, has more pocket organization space, all that stuff. I'm just always hunting for the next better alternative, I guess.
See,
Um,
would it be great if you could just do a little crafting and then you could
oh
combine
my
or edit or.
no, well, I would love to, but I think I'm too scared of ruining it, especially like these plasticky materials. Like I don't know what they're called, but they're definitely not like cloth. I think if it was cloth or leather or
You're
something, I'd be
getting,
way
you
more.
have vinyl and synthetic bags.
Uh, I guess I don't know what they're made out of. Like a standard backpack, that material.
Vinyl and synthetics, alright.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, if it was something else, I would fiddle around with it myself, but it's not. um,
Oh, wish
yeah.
list? An adventure looking backpack. I do one day want to get a ye old adventure
Oh, ye
backpack.
old knapsack.
Hee hee. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's pretty cool.
Because
Yeah,
I actually have a belt and a backpack.
yeah,
So it's tiered. One that I definitely don't want to leave the house without, and then the extra stuff that I'll probably have with me, but isn't necessarily the complete necessary.
yeah.
So
Um, I gotcha. I gotcha.
yeah,
Maybe I'll
love the
set up something
backpack.
like that too. It's probably that's one of those things I would set up if I had money and space. I would just start like organizing backpacks by like apocalypses. I'd be like flood, mass starvation, zombie apocalypse, wildfire, and I'd label them and hang them all up in one closet. And then like when I need them, I would just grab them by occasion.
I mean, I have
Uh,
my everywhere bag because I don't like leaving important paperwork in the car, so I just have that there. And that's where
right,
I
right,
would have the saw, the sharpening tool,
right, right,
and
right.
my first aid kit and
Oh
battery
yeah.
bank. But
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I have a bag for the car, which is
Yeah.
basically tier 3, which has the gas mask, the 95s,
The gun. The gun.
the survival hatchet,
The gun.
the MREs,
Gun.
and this
Repeat.
really cute. Oh, I love the
Gun.
kitchenware. It's
Really cute Beretta.
uh-huh. So are you sure I'm the American? Yeah, but no, it's just
Yeah.
the kitchenware is super cute for camping because like utility camping goes hand in hand. It's a very tall stainless steel thing that could be a cup, but it has two cups inside of it, and you can actually just use it to boil water. It has this
Ah.
clasp over the top where the lid goes. It's got this tiny little lid, and it basically fits directly on a like one propane cylinder, that fire thingy, and it's
Right,
it's
right,
so
right, right, right.
cute.
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Oh, MREs really bad for indigestion, but the coolest thing about them is the water pack. The mechanic they use to heat up the food is a
Yeah.
pouch that you're supposed to put water in, and it reacts with the powder inside of it, and it boils the water like immediately. I don't even know how the
Yeah.
fuck it does it, but if you take those packs, they're flat. They're
And
completely
and
flat.
and set them on fire.
No, you can just put them in your bag, and all of a sudden you got something that you can just boil something with.
Oh, yeah, the way. Um, that's always fun. I wonder if you could just order that compound by itself, or if that would be very
Yeah,
illegal.
get yourself on a list. Yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah, exactly. Um, I would definitely have a tiered system like you do if you're talking about my dream
Yeah, yeah,
setup,
yeah.
because I think that's
Tell me,
just the
tell me.
best way to organize it. Because like my number one like thing would be definitely like a urban survival kit.
Oh,
Like that would
describe the
be
urban.
sure. let me go through it in my head. So the obvious things are like, phone. That's like the thing that everybody has. It would all be in a sling bag, by the way, because I love my sling bags.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because I love the idea of having everything in a bag, just on my chair, and whenever I need to go out, put it on, done. I have to
Uh-huh.
fiddle for keys or anything like that. So it'd be phone, keys, and keys is like a whole other subcategory because there's so many different key rings
Right, of
that I
course.
love. With like different levels of efficiency. But it'd definitely be like a key ring that has a bottle opener. Like I think that's a must because you never know when you need a bottle opener, and especially like going to restaurants. Every time I go to a freaking restaurant, and they give me like a bottle without the bottle opener, I hate having to like shuffle all the way back to the counter and be like, "Excuse me, where's the bottle opener?" you know, like I hate that with a burning passion. So definitely a bottle opener is like a must for me. But I could replace that with like a Swiss Army knife. I think that's another important thing. You know,
Yeah, if you
like a
have
Swiss
any
Army
other
knife.
utility tool, you have a bottle opener.
Yeah, exactly. Swiss Army knife or just like a general like utility knife, like a small one, you know?
Yeah.
Like I know you like the fixed blades. Um but I think if I had unlimited money, I would get a micro fixed blade because I've seen a few good ones. And I do love their design. So if I had unlimited money, I'd get those because
Mm,
they're quite expensive. But since I don't, I might just get a cheap like Swiss Army knife or just like a different utility knife that is foldable because they're a lot cheaper, you know?
yep.
Um, then I would have a flashlight, like a mini flashlight, because I hate the phone flashlight and I think it's good to have a separate flashlight just in case, because sometimes you're walking at home all by yourself,
Yep.
and it's just good to have a flashlight. Band-aids and freaking medicine, like allergy pills, especially for somebody like me.
Yep.
You know, that's something I need like on the daily, if the occasion arrives. Um, and then and that's like I guess that's like the core of like the most important things I'd say, and the rest I would just throw into like the interchangeable list. It depends on how much space I have left at this
Right.
point. If I have a lot of space left or very little, I would throw in a power bank. If I had space left, because power bank is important. I'd throw in a notebook, depending on the space. My wallet. Oh yeah, wallet goes up here because wallet is like an everyday thing that is a must. And there's a nice wallet I want that is a titanium frame, and
Uh-huh.
buying it would be like 700 bucks.
Yep.
That wallet is gonna be worth more than any amount of money I could carry in it. But it's so good. I think. Oh God, I'll pull it up because I think I remember the name. It's the Aviator
Uh-huh.
wallet.
Are you gonna wear
Uh,
aviators that are also made of titanium
oh
while having the
yeah,
titanium wallet?
that would be so good. Well, the wallet I have now has a pull tab.
Uh-huh.
And this is the only other like wallet that is metal that has a pull tab, you know, that I've seen. And it's so incredibly frustrating because I just want a good pull tab on my freaking wallet,
You
you
might as
know?
well just get a custom wallet at this point.
Yeah, I could. Look, here it is. You see it?
What? Oh, oh, I
It's on
see,
my
I see.
screen.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's like it's just essentially two pieces of metal, some rubber band, and the metal is titanium, obviously.
Yeah.
And there's a pull tab here at the top, and you can just pull your cards out all at once. I love that. That right now it would cost 370 for the standard wallet with no additions, with like everything on the cheapest, because obviously you can have like settings for like different things. You can have aluminum coin holder or a carbon fiber coin holder. And the aluminum costs 0 because it's just included for free. So right now that's 370 euros. So that's let's see how many dollars that is. Where's the curve? Why is there no Google exchange rate? What the hell? That would be $390. Yeah. Okay. And now let me.
What? Uh-oh. What happened?
and the titanium gold screws. Now it would cost you 670 euros, which would end up being let's see how many dollars that is. 670, that would be 706 US dollars. So it's
Yep.
exactly 700. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, ooh.
And you know I wouldn't settle for the cheapy cheap stuff, so it would be a 700 buck wallet. But I love it. It's so cool. It's like the ideal wallet. You know, this is like my ideal wallet that I could get. I don't think I would ever get a different wallet as soon as I have this because I hate
Mhm.
carrying cash. I hate carrying like anything unnecessary. I use cards for everything, right? So this is like the ultimate way to carry cards for me. But yeah, power bank, notebook, unnecessary stuff. I would keep little coins. Like I know they're decorative, like coins. There's a coin I want which says "I win" on one side, you
Uh-huh.
know, and the other side says "you lose."
Yep.
So it's like a rigged coin. So I would love that. Can you imagine being with friends? You're like, let's flip for it.
Yeah.
It's like it's brilliant because you wouldn't like I'm stupid, right? But I wouldn't think of it like if I only saw it once, I wouldn't come up with the idea that it was rigged, right? Even if somebody were to explain it to me, I think I might still fall for it, you know? If somebody was like, let's flip a coin. If it lands on this side, I win. If it lands on the other, you lose. All right, gotcha. You know, I could see myself falling for it, but then again, I'm a little stoopy stoop. So yeah, I would have like little fun coins like that. There are tons of those. Little fidget toys is something that I would love, you know.
Oh,
Um,
with an
yeah.
with an extreme amount of money to waste, I definitely would buy one of those puzzle coins. You know, the ones where you
Oh,
like push a little button on the nose of the face of the coin and then a little
oh
thing
yeah.
comes out. It's just like I don't give a crap. I just want I
Oh
just want to
boy.
put a
Oh,
tiny
that's pretty
a singular sprinkle in the tiny drawer of this coin.
funny. That's pretty funny. Yeah. Just like the most unnecessary. See, I would never get something like that because I know damn well I'd spend the coin.
You sacrilegious fuck.
But yeah, then a pen. I guess I'd put pen up here because a pen is so lightweight, you know.
Right, right,
And
right.
it doesn't seem like this is a lot, but
It adds up.
there,
It's
yeah, and there's like 50 variations on each of these categories. You know, phone that goes into like phone case. You know, what phone case do you want? And then I would be like, oh, there's like 50 different options there. It's like keys, key rings. What key rings do you want? You know, it's like what the hell did I write here? Swiss Army knife. Knives, like what knife do you want? And then there's like 50 different knives you can choose from. Flashlights is the same. There's like so many different like weird features and things that they build into everything. You know, multi-tools as well, wallets. You've seen the crazy things wallets can do. Pens as well, power
oh,
banks, notebooks, coin,
there's
fidgets,
some
yeah.
my dad just gave this to me before he flew off to God knows
Oh
where.
boy.
He
Yeah.
it's a foldable solar panel with Velcro on
Oh,
the edges, and you just slot
that's
it.
so
Yeah,
cool.
you just put it into your bag like a little notebook, and then it has, you know, the cords and the sockets and stuff. It's super cute.
Yeah.
And I'll let you finish, and I'll start talking about knives.
That's pretty much it. The only other things I can think of that might be like good to carry everywhere is just like miscellaneous stuff. Like what would be good is to just keep an Altoids tin or like a little baggie inside your bag full of like rubber bands, ziploc ties, carabiner, you know,
Uh-huh.
random crap like that, like maybe some tape, you know, because you never know when you need that stuff, and then when you do need it, you have it, and it's great, you know.
Uh-huh.
And it takes up so little space. You know, maybe just like a tiny bag of toothpicks or whatever. But yeah, there's a carabiner that turns into a hook, and then you can just hook your bag anywhere. So that's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
cute.
Tons of stuff like that. Flashlight for vigorous jerkings.
Mm-hmm.
Flamethrower for
Oh,
when. Yeah.
there's a electric lighter. Have you seen that?
Oh, like a arc lighter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what it
Yeah,
is. That's good.
there. I love them so much, but I have no conceivable reason to carry one. Like, I don't smoke, I don't know people who smoke, I just
Incense or candles?
yeah, but, like, that's not something I need to take out of the house, you know?
Well,
So it
if
would
you're
be
thinking survival kit,
then I would think ferro rod is what I would think, you know?
oh,
Something that doesn't have to be charged.
the thing that well, when you have a solar panel, it really doesn't matter, does it?
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true, but then I'd be live in constant fear of smashing it like the dumbass I am.
I guess it's fair.
Yeah.
I do have a flint and steel rod, that's for sure.
Yeah, ferro rod, and there's like paracord that has like it's not even paracord. There's like 50 different ways to store like fire starters nowadays, you know? Like you're really not short for options. So if you just have like a tiny ferro rod with you and like the other 50 ways to start a fire, there you go. You set, you know? Yeah, there's no excuse for me to carry an arc lighter as cool as they are, as much as I love them, you know? And they are cool as hell. Maybe one day I'll carry one just to set houses on fire.
To
Uh,
fulfill your dreams finally.
yeah, I'll go backpacking around Greece, and they'll call me the arsonist, el arsonista, or whatever they speak in Greece. uh, yeah, and then I'll have fun with my arc lighter, and then I'll toss it away because it's material evidence. uh,
But yeah, I
and cherish me and care and love the heck because the
I'm
heck
interested that you remembered that I don't like switchblades, but you
the
know
heck
it's
is is heck is fantastic.
uh-huh.
Everybody love the heck. The heck is God incarnate and should be worshipped, and everybody should bow down to the heck. Yeah, did I get that right?
You got something. Yes, I would tell you what
uh,
it is, but I can't tell you. I can't say it on stream.
um, go ahead. Yeah,
Forget.
switchblades. Yeah, of course I remember you don't like switchblades because you made such an impassioned like speech about it.
Though
You're
you mean
like,
my long
"Ah."
essay.
Yeah, you're like, no. Why would you fold it if you could have it not fold? No.
Well, see, it's not that I won't use switchblades because I have plenty of them. It's just that in
Yeah,
a situation when you're actually using them, there's so many downsides. Like, let's say you do go hunting, or let's say you do bushcraft, and you get
yeah,
just
yeah,
a bunch of mud and dirt in between your switchblade, and you're never gonna be able to get that out. And if it gets
yeah,
rusty, where's your oil? You're gonna go scavenge for oil to fix it. And
yeah,
if
yeah,
you're doing game, you're never gonna get that smell out of the knife. You're not. No matter
yeah.
how, if you boil the knife, you're not gonna get the smell out.
Well, I think the main draw for me when I compare the two is that the freaking switchblade, foldable knife, whatever. Um, if you don't have the screwdrivers to
That
fix it
too.
out in the
Yep.
wild, you're screwed. And if you have to like use it, if it's your only knife, well, you're gonna use it because the best knife. Well, what was this famous quote? It was like the best knife to have on you in a survival situation is the knife that you have on you. It doesn't matter which one it is. If you have one, great. That's the best one you could possibly have right now. Um, and when you do stuff like splitting wood, you're gonna like take a piece of wood, line up your blade, and start smacking it, into
Uh-huh.
the other piece of wood so you can split it. And if you have like a switchblade, foldable blade, whatever they're called, then you're gonna weaken the hinge and then you fuck it up. That's what got me convinced, where I'm like, all right, I want something that is one piece of metal so that I can hammer away in case I have to,
Uh-huh.
and it doesn't matter at all.
I mean, it's still gonna do something, but at least you could have a chance of fixing it. I mean,
Yeah,
there are
because then
some that have the
find sharp,
basic
find
screwdriver.
yeah, you just find the coarse rock and then you sharpen it. Find a river rock that is a little bit like rough, and then you just sharpen it. That's your best option, I guess. um, but yeah, tell me more. What knives do you own, and why? And have you ever used them in bed?
There's uh gosh, I've tried a lot of different knives. Because we go camping and outdoor
You go
sports and stuff.
camping with your skin?
Yeah, back it didn't get bad until graduating high school into college,
Oh,
and
so
so
this
I had
is
a
like
whole
50 years
childhood.
ago.
Yeah, I had a whole childhood of
Oh,
manageable bliss.
childhood. 60 years ago.
And
Yeah.
during that time I used like American Tonto designs. I used some hunting knives. I used curved blades rated half and half. And they all had their interesting pluses and minuses, and I tried as many as possible because even back then I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make my utility belt. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
And gosh, as much as we can make fun of culture appropriation or whatever shit, the American Tonto is actually really cool because it's a completely flat blade with an edge on
Yeah.
it at the very tip, which is great for like maneuvering little tiny things and whittling stuff. It is, and then it's
Yeah.
also easy to sharpen because one is edge is flat, the other is flat. There's none of that nonsense curvy shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is weak when it comes to skinning.
It is weak.
It's
It
not
it does.
skinning friendly.
Yeah. Gosh. What have you skinned? Do you want to tell me about it?
No.
No? Okay. Well, is it because it's not YouTube friendly?
It's that-
Is it a hamster? You can tell me. It was a
I
hamster,
wasn't
wasn't it?
part of the taxidermy club,
You were part
unfortunately.
of the tech. Yeah.
But that would have given me the opportunity to taxidermy people's pets.
Yeah.
But no, that's
Oh,
not my story.
oh, little Ronnie is dead. I wish I could remember him somehow. You fucking 10-year-old Marsh just bursts in and is like, I can't help. uh, cut to you stitching up little Ronnie and presenting him. By the way, little Ronnie is a human.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's why it really doesn't work. It's not great for human skin.
Could you taxidermy a human though?
I mean, I'm not sure how similar pigs and humans really are, but if the skin is similar, would that be interesting? What if we make good bacon?
That's a good point. I would be open to trying.
I would be
Um,
open.
yeah, you wouldn't?
Oh no, like when we start growing like tube flesh to feed the masses, people are gonna
Yeah.
start because pigs, human, like there's gonna be a funny
What's the
question.
difference? Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna ask ourselves like, huh. There's
Oh,
really funny videos coming out on
yeah.
YouTube. The new
New
video.
to
Yeah.
eating my parents challenge. uh,
Used clone printer technology to make a steak that's genetically identical to.
then genetically identical to Oprah. My God.
The
Would you eat an Oprah
possibilities.
steak?
Oh, Rita, what?
An Oprah steak.
I mean, how much am I getting paid?
Well, nothing. You just get to eat Oprah. I'm sure you could get paid by twisting it and making it a publicity stunt. Being like eating Oprah, challenge completed, and then you show yourself eating Oprah,
Uh-huh.
and then people would be like, "Wow, you'd get attention." And you know what they say about media, right? It's like no attention is bad attention, you know. So I'm sure you could earn money, but you won't get paid for eating Oprah. You will just be able to make money if you play your cards right. So would you eat Oprah?
I mean, is this the dystopian future where we're cloning people for sustenance?
Uh, No, this is now.
Oh, oh. Then no.
What? I mean, come on. No, Oprah doesn't have to be dead. She can just be
Because that
alive.
makes it better if she's alive
Yeah.
and you take a bite out of her.
Well, I mean, the part you eat of her doesn't have to be alive. What if Gordon Ramsay was there? You know those videos where Gordon Ramsay is like, "Oh, I'm gonna blindfold myself and I'm going to butcher this lobster," and then everyone's like, "Wow, how is he doing that?" He's like, "Give it to grab the claw, crack right here, pinch." Oh, say words like this, it means absolutely nothing to me when I'm watching the video. But it's always like pinch, hold, twist the joint, twist the joint, pull, wiggle,
Uh-huh.
all these British buzzwords. Now imagine that, but with Oprah's leg,
Uh-huh.
and Oprah's screaming in pain, or she's thoroughly enjoying it. I
Uh-huh.
don't know Oprah, right? And then Gordon cuts you a slice and seasons it. Fantastic. I mean, he's a Michelin star chef, Borscht.
Uh-huh.
Like, come on. You like it's a you wouldn't you telling me you wouldn't eat Oprah if she was made by Gordon Ramsay?
Well, maybe if it's Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, see, I knew you weren't beyond reason.
I'm
Like,
not
I think,
beyond Gordon Ramsay.
yeah, like if Oprah was, like, I would just eat Oprah as a rule of
Uh-huh,
thumb,
yeah.
not
You
because I'm
gain her
attracted to her.
powers by
Yeah,
consuming
exactly. Suddenly, I am going to become an elderly black woman,
with
and who
lots of money and
yeah,
charity things.
who's been like, wasn't she on TV with Maya Angelou
I
or
don't
something?
know, man. I don't keep
Yeah.
track of anything. I
Well,
barely know who Oprah is.
I I heard she's done some bad things.
Well, that sounds like most people.
Yeah, here we go. Don't mind me, Bopra. I'm not gonna expose you. I'm just gonna eat your flesh.
Uh-huh.
Uh, don't take that out of context, lawyers. You don't do this to me. It's like that episode of Drake and Josh where they obsessively try to like get to their concert with Oprah, or their Oprah. They got tickets to the Oprah show or whatever the hell they do there, right?
Oh, how funny
And
considering that's another person who was a child star and then just did wrong things.
oh yeah, Drake, right? I know one of them is just yo-yoing with his weight, but the other one is evil or something
Yeah.
and turned Spanish to escape. I'm fuzzy on the details, but that's essentially what happened, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is funny, but the point is that in one of their episodes, they're so obsessed about getting to Oprah, and obviously they didn't get to go the normal way, and hijinks ensue. And in the end, like, they bother Oprah so much that she signs a restraining order against them.
Uh-huh.
And you'd think the guy would be super upset, but he's just insanely happy because the restraining order he got served has Oprah's signature. It's just like, yay, I got her signature. So funny. Yeah. Anyways, um, tell me about all the abuse you've suffered at the hands of people who are racist. What?
uh, well, it's funny that I grew up in such a nice area that I never really had to deal with prejudice.
We can change that.
I know you guys did change it. I,
Yay!
was exposed to the rest of the world where apparently we're laughed at for trying not to be hurtful to other people.
I also laughed at for everything. You know, it's funny that you didn't really experience that because I didn't either. You know,
Yeah.
up until I joined my school. I went to two schools. I went to the first one where I guess I did face some discrimination, but I don't remember it. So, trauma this, trauma that, who knows?
Uh-huh.
Uh, but the funny thing is, they used to pick on me for being too German. Can you imagine? Like, I used to speak English with like such a thick German accent that people apparently could not understand my English. And luckily, they bullied it out of me in school.
Luckily.
Yeah, fantastic. Anyways, after that mess of discrimination, I went to my other school
To
where
have
they
even more.
yep, where they gave me something new and fun, which was that they the way they discriminated was just like the classic way. You know, the first one was like, "Oh, you can't speak English well." The second one was just like, "Haha, you're Asian." You know, like the age old. You know, we've all seen it. You know, it's like you're Asian. Ah, I remember distinctly the first day I had in school. My very first day in
Mm.
school, I had this sign up sheet, this roster that showed like which class you were a part of. You know, and I looked at it and I checked the list. I was like, "Oh, cool! I'm in class with these people. Can't wait to meet them." And not 20 seconds later, right after I turned my back and the next person came to check the list, they were like, "Ew, insert Hecklin's name. What kind of a name is that?" I was like, "This is the start of a beautiful adventure." And then the intro rolled. Uh, yeah, that was fun.
Oh, I will say that while there wasn't any like prejudice that had anything to do with my skin or heritage or anything, what we did
Yeah.
have was stereotypes based on, well, that's it, stereotypes like goth prep jock. That was what we
Ah, right.
had. And even that wasn't that like active to the point where I felt outcasted by any particular group, but that might just be because I was
You were part of
nice.
them.
Like,
Yeah.
there's those people that can go in between groups just because
They have
they're nice.
massive padonks. Oh,
And so people
yeah,
like give them the benefit of the
sure.
doubt, and it's
The
always
thing
the
you said.
extreme cases. But
Yeah.
then everyone else had to suffer at the hands of the stereotypes.
It's funny
It
because
goes
I
both
don't
ways.
yeah, it's funny because I don't think I ever had the jock, cheerleader, what was the last thing? Nerd, lineup. Like,
Mm-hmm.
surprisingly, I don't think that's something that ever manifested itself, like, in my surroundings. If it did, then I was blissfully unaware, right? But
Right.
it was mostly the more malicious version where they hate your race and where you come from and how much money you can spend on things, you
Yeah, I
know?
guess traded one for the
Yeah, I suppose. You don't need both, do you?
No, you only need one thing to have fun with.
Yeah. So all in all, I had a pretty normal school experience.
Uh-huh.
The one that leaves you traumatized and needing to go to therapy for years,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? Standard British experience. My parents really couldn't make up their minds, I was like, "Let's make him German, but also Asian, but let's send him to a British school." Oh, good. And then for you, they were like, "Hee hee hoo hoo, let's make her short."
This is the source of all of my problems.
Yeah. Let's make her short and give her really, really reactive skin. You mean reactive like sensitive? No. Uh, oh gosh. How did you feel when you first started getting skin issues?
Oh, it was funny because I didn't know what the fuck was happening. So what ended up what was transpiring was I would come from,
Come? You would
yeah,
come?
yep, exactly. And
Where would you
and
come?
then during
You would
PE,
come?
of course, during physical
Oh, you
education.
you would come during PE?
And
PE and
in
from Hen
between,
Island?
in
You
between, in between my classes, were the physical ed classes, and so that's where you run around and do sports or whatever and build up a sweat, and then
That's where
as
you
soon as I
go to
would,
have the
uh
fat
huh,
teacher stare at your
yep,
butt while you walk.
uh huh,
I am
uh
aware.
huh. Yeah, all mine were fit and could run faster than most of the class.
Oh, funny. Mine were fat and got kicked out of the school for peeking into the girls' bathroom.
Yeah, you had like a comic TV show level experience, and I had the 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 physical ed teachers whose exercise was, all right, I'm gonna power walk. If I lap you twice, you fail.
Pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's so cute. So,
And we're like, oh. Oh.
oh
The
gosh, yeah,
overachievers
my
were the ones who would walk directly behind him, and the ones that were dangerously gonna fail the class were the ones that he's chasing, like a couple meters
oh, that's pretty funny. Oh gosh.
behind.
I played a different game with my
Yeah?
teachers. It was called gaslighting.
Yeah, cool.
Oh boy, I remember distinctly. Um, that was the most fun I ever had in school. Is when I would
Gaslighting.
Yeah, it was when like because when you're depressed as hell, you don't think about homework. Let's just be honest here. My brain is not like, oh, I should probably do my freaking calculus assignment or write this essay on some bull crap.
Mm.
My thoughts are, I would really rather the world perish alongside me. You
Uh-huh.
know, and so when it came to like handing in stuff and people would badger me for it, sometimes I would just gaslight them, because teachers they collect like your papers all together, right? They
Yeah.
like pass them all in one stack and put it to the front of the class, and then you do, and they don't really check whose is in there when you hand it in, right?
Uh-huh.
Like if they collect it, there's no real way around it, right? But if you just if they ask you to collect it and pass it forward, then you can get away with it. So what I would do is, they would come back and they would start handing the homework back, and then they would get to my desk and they would be like, "Hey, heck, where's yours?" I'd be like, "Well, I handed mine in," and they'd be like, "No, you didn't." I'm like, "Yeah, I did." And they're like, "No, I don't have it." I'm like, "Well, I gave it to you," and then they would be like, "Oh, I must have left it at home then." And then they would go home and they'd be like, "I still can't find it." I'm like, "I gave it to you." Though they were like, "I'll have another look," and then they'll eventually, after a few days, they'll come to me and they'll say, "Sorry, I must have lost it." I'm like, "It's okay. I forgive you." Yeah. And then got out of doing the stupid work and had some fun with the people who tortured me.
Uh-huh.
And one time I told a bold teacher that I would get out of his hair. That was a crowning moment. Oh, you should have seen the look he gave me. I didn't even realize what I was saying. I was just like, "We'll get out of your hair."
Oh yeah,
And
those
I
are
think I,
the
I
most accidental ones are the best
yeah.
ones.
And the best part is, I think to everybody else in the room, it seemed like I was rubbing it in when I said, "Oh, sorry. Oh, I didn't realize." You know, but I genuinely meant it because I totally forgot he was bald, but he just looked at me with
Yeah, it's
this.
just
Yeah,
expression.
yeah, he's just so tired of existence at that point. Oh boy. Yeah, that was a good one. But I would have loved to have your PE experience. That sounds like so much fun.
I
You know?
was. I enjoyed PE a lot. Like,
Yeah.
that's
And
why I
then
took
the
so
itching
many of them.
started.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's yeah. So I would have these physical classes. I would work up a sweat, and then it wouldn't happen while I was running. And but then as the body starts to cool down, I'm in my chemistry class, and then I just get all these bumps on me, like on my arms, on my legs, and
Yeah, yeah,
and I'm like, what the hell is happening? And there was even one time where I was called out in class and I got so
yeah.
embarrassed that I hived the fuck up. Like these bumps that
Aw.
would just came back. And it would take like an hour or so for them to go away as well, or even longer than that, because they would start out as bumps and then they would merge together like continents. Because that's how what
Yeah.
hives do sometimes.
Pangea is
Yeah.
reforming. Yeah, gotcha,
Return to the source.
yeah. Eureka!
And
Uh,
but as I was getting an appointment or whatever, one of my classmates looks at me, and is like, allergies, and I'm like, what? She's like, those are allergies. I'm like, oh, and
yeah.
she's because she apparently went in for red dye. Apparently, the Beatles. Yeah, she was allergic
Ye
to the beetles that they use for red dye.
right, right, right. And you were allergic to yourself? Yes?
uh, See, that's the funny thing. Um, I was describing my symptoms because, I would get these hives after workouts. So that's sweat, body heat. temperature rising or something in the outside. I got them when I was embarrassed. That's hormones, that's
Right.
temperature rising, that's potentially also sweat. And then the one that I think fucked up the entire testimony, but is also true, is that I got them when I took a hot shower. Like nothing was on me. I took a hot shower, my body flushed with like, heat, and then also the momentary sweat that happens when like, your body just starts reacting. And then I got hives again. And with that testimony, they deduced without any testing that I had heat
Yeah.
induced hives. But
Right.
also on top of that, I have eczema, which is just hereditary at this point.
I love eczema because eczema is just a blanket term doctors throw in.
Exactly.
Any skin issue, you got eczema. Just like any stomach issue is IBS. It's
Hmm.
not. Not every stomach issue is IBS, but they're like, "Oh, your stomach doesn't react well to something, IBS." You know?
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, you got something with your skin, anything dry, itchy, blue, red, yellow, huh? That's eczema." There's a horn growing out of you the size of a 10-foot pole. Eczema. Uh,
And then
you know yeah.
what's best on top of all that is that they went and tested me for allergies. And they did the test where they put a grid on my back and poke me with a wild assortment of things. And my doctor's like, uh, you reacted to everything?
You reacted to everything. I'm just gonna put you out of your misery right here. Pulls the shotgun out.
I saved these for the special ones.
Sayonara, kid. You had a good life. Yeah, keep going.
So yeah, who knows if it's actually heat-induced hives, because that was just my first, dermatologist. I got a second one later who's like, it doesn't really matter what it is because you're suffering and here's some steroids, here's some immune suppressants, and off you go.
It sounds like it's an immune disease, right?
Oh
Because
yeah,
you
definitely.
have them in the family, so it makes sense that it could be one, and your body is overreacting just in its own specific way.
Oh yeah,
Are you sure
definitely.
you don't wanna have, like, kids? Pass on the poison. Uh,
Pass the curse.
the curse, yeah. Oh boy. It's funny, right? Because I feel like I definitely got both my mom's and my dad's worst medical traits. Like, I got my dad's bad nose and my, aunt's from my dad's side's allergies, and also from my mom, the bad eyesight, you know?
Oh, yeah, that's another
Yeah.
thing. They look into my nose. It was so funny. I walked in and they're like, "Oh, you've got sniffles, don't you?" I'm like, "How the fuck do you know?" It's because I can see the very faintest wrinkles in your nose from how often you have to push it up when you
Aw,
blow.
yeah, yeah.
And then when they looked into my nostril, like, "Oh, you also have a crooked nose canal, which probably doesn't
You
help."
Oh, right, weren't you gonna go get that fixed?
Oh yeah, like this wasn't something they recommended to me. This was just, the equivalent of shower thoughts. One day Waffle and I were sitting around and Waffle's like, "Wouldn't it be funny if the only, the plastic surgery you get is to fix your crooked nose canal?"
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I
"Oh
mean,
my
at that
God."
yeah, at
Maybe
that point,
SpongeBob.
you can do anything, right? If you're gonna go in to fix your nose anyways, you might as well change the shape, size, and color.
I'll get a fucking red nose.
Yeah, you clown.
Hunka
You
hunka.
don't even uh, oh boy. But yeah, keep going. And then what? You just lived life? Did you curse your existence or anything? Or like, why is this happening to me? Blah blah blah. Or
Ah,
did you just kind of take it
I didn't have
like
the
a little kid?
time to, because during the I desperately got a job because I had goals and I obtained that goal by getting a job. And
Right.
then so I was on-call data entry, which is
Hey,
it
that's
was the
the job you had
weirdest.
when we met.
Yeah, yeah, it was the weirdest kind of
Wait a
thing.
second.
Yeah, what?
You're not that old, are you?
Oh my God.
You're not really 64.
You're not 5 million bajillion years old. What?
Not 50 trillion years old. You told me you were there when the universe was created.
You
Big
told me
grand.
you pet a dinosaur. Yeah, it was a
I
trilobite.
remember, I remember you showing me some fossils of yours.
Of your
Uh,
feces that you kept all of these years.
uh, yeah, go on.
What was I talking about?
I don't know. How you betrayed my trust by revealing that you're actually not a grandma with your first job?
Oh yeah, yeah. So it was a data entry and I was doing that every day and it was kind of like an on-call job without getting the pay of on-call. So, even
Oh,
though I
nice.
sucked at the time, it still like added stressors. And that was when my skin was at its worst. And so sometimes I would just cry myself to sleep according to awful. Apparently my mind is blocked out most of this. I have no idea
Oh,
what I
nice.
did.
Neat. High five.
But yeah, yeah. Apparently it sucked a lot because it was so itchy and then also stingy. Oh yeah, that's right. The only relief I got, which is really bad for you. It's so bad for you, but it was the only thing that made me stop itching and feeling the sting when I
Cocaine.
washed myself was bathing
Cocaine.
in baking soda.
Oh, cause it do the crib with your boy?
I don't know what the mechanic is, but something about it what's it the basic of it made it so that I couldn't feel the itchiness and it also didn't make it sting in water, and even though it dries out and damages your skin in the long run, it was relief. So I did it
Mm,
every night to wash myself because I had so many lesions on my body that showering was becoming like soft torture.
right, right, right. Um, do you still have a bathtub now?
I mean, technically it's a bathtub, it's just small.
Yeah, but so it means they'll fit three of you, you freaking midget. Uh, because my friend mentioned that he recently got a THC bath bomb from another friend of his, and the way he described getting out of the bath afterwards was like, my entire skin is like, um, well, he only said the German word for it. It's like kribbelig. You still remember German enough to know what kribbelig is?
No.
Well, it's like tingly, but in a more like it's a little bit more than tingly. It's like tingly but more tingly plus, you know.
The
So
DLC,
yeah,
Tingly.
tingly plus DLC. I think, I mean, if you ever have the funds, maybe that would be something fun to try if you still struggle. Maybe it would satiate the beast within just a little bit.
Yeah, depend on the ingredients, but it'd be worth checking out.
And then the number one ingredient is itch powder.
I made it myself. I'm marketing them now. Try my product.
Uh, I'm mailing it over as we speak. Uh, oh yeah. Uh, and then how long were you at that data entry job before you met me?
um, Maybe a couple of years. It's hard to say.
Yeah. My God. Look at us. So you've known me most of your life, huh? Most all
Um,
of it, right? The only important parts, and the parts I wasn't there for aren't really that important. So you could say that, right? Most of your
what?
life.
I was trying to think of what year Orpheus
Just
was.
2016, you dingus.
Oh,
Or 2015? Is 2016. Maybe it was like close to 2015, but it's definitely 2016, I
yeah, it
think.
was gosh, I think it went on for a year before it like was dying.
Yeah, yeah, it did. It went on
So,
for quite a while before it died out.
uh, yeah, it was 15, 16, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, we could literally go to the old server if you want and check the first messages we sent. I mean, if you want like a definitive
I don't
answer.
know, it's just
Yeah,
interesting because thinking about how long I was doing data entry and stuff. Because I
right.
remember I would report to my guild what was happening in global chat, not because, anything special, but because my job required me to wake up so early that I just had global chat open and I, would skim read it every now and then.
It's funny how we were both intrigued by what is essentially a really crappy dating sim slash war game, enough to the extent where we could form like lifelong friendships. Oh boy, that's
The
funny.
community was really what made it so weird. Because
Yeah, for
I
sure.
played a bunch of like war games after this, and nothing ever hit the same because there was no
Oh, you
cohesion.
played other war games.
Yeah,
You little
because
you suit.
yeah, it's just that there's no interactivity because they try and make interactivity, but all it is big powerful players steamrolling small players, and small players can't do anything. They can't even socialize. They can't even make groups to do anything.
Yeah,
But
it's a real
yeah.
specific set of events that's set into motion that all of us met there, you know?
Mm.
Especially considering that now we literally have ongoing D&D groups with some dumb artists from some other guild, you know? It's just funny to think about.
Yeah, after there was like endless amounts of drama too, and then
Yeah,
weird
oh yeah,
things.
right.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Oh boy. That's so funny. I still can't believe that Gideon texted me by accident and then deleted their message. Like, come on, Gideon. I set you up with possibly your wife. They shouldn't I get more than just like a little bit of like a hey and then like delete it or something. Once again, I don't understand how he could have possibly accidentally messaged me because it was definitely one of those like mid-conversation texts, that he
Uh-huh.
sent to me by accident. But for me, at least on my like Discord open DMs list, he is like on the bottom. Who the hell was he texting to accidentally send me a message at the bottom?
Well, I mean, it could come from anything. Like, you can pull up that window from a server. You can pull
Ugh,
it up from a search bar. There's a few
yeah.
different weird scenarios
The
where that
point
could
is that
happen.
I appreciate that he took the time to tell me how he's been doing, if his relationship with the girl I set him up with worked, and
Oh, come on. No one
yeah,
takes, no
it's
one thinks
alright.
about that kind of
No,
stuff.
I love my
Oh,
friendships. I
maybe
love
if you asked him how he was doing,
How?
maybe
I'm
that would
never
have
gonna.
shown that
I
you
I
cared, and then he
presumed he
would.
was dead.
I felt it in my soul. He died immediately after. I didn't have to ask a thing. It was his ghost contacting me beyond the grave.
Beyond the grave. Oh boy, that's the one. Okay, I don't know if we should talk about this or if it's disrespectful, but that's one fear that crops up with Discord sometimes. Is one of our friends passed away, right?
Uh-huh.
And his because I messaged him to check on them, like to see what the hell was going on. Like
Uh-huh.
their message box is pretty high up, like for me, right?
Right.
And every time I open up Discord or something, I get like a small scare because I think they responded to me. And I'm like, like, beyond the grave, like messaging me. I'm like, please, Spectre, leave me be, you know. And it's the same with like, Astro in chat has like a really similar profile
Astro?
picture. Yeah, Astro.
But she's not. Wait, why is it that. Wait. My earpiece popped out, so the context as to why this is similar to Astro is very confusing. Please explain.
Oh, it's like Astro also has like a similar username. So when I see her, I also get that like mini scare that like our friend has returned from beyond the grave to
Uh,
to message us. I'm like I
alright.
always get.
Oh, because she
But yeah,
disappears sometimes.
yeah. Well, also like her freaking name. Her name is like pink, and her profile picture was at a point also like this pink. Um, what was it? This pink. What's it? Uh, it's anime girl esque thing.
Oh, I
And then
see.
I was like, good gracious. I forgot how we got to this part, but I fear the dead.
Right.
Oh wait, yeah, Gideon not messaging me. I'm sure he's perished by now.
Uh-huh.
I I give my condolences.
Yeah, it's the only reason why he wouldn't tell you how his life is going.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate fact of life. But there's a beauty in that it has to end. Uh, I came to the woods to
Uh-huh.
die. uh, yeah. What was I saying? You're telling me about your data entry job and how much you cherish our friendship. I can't ever hear enough of that. It's fun knowing that I have conquered,
Oh, it's
all the
funny.
other.
I have two things like that now. I have one where like, oh yes, I dragged you out of the cave, you goblin, and the other one is, ah yes, I saved your art career. I have two of you.
Yeah. Which one am I? Because I definitely know I say both.
Oh, okay, well, Jesus Christ.
I would say I'm the one who says I saved your art career because I say that a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, is that one me?
Yes, that one is you, but I
Well,
guess
I
I need
mean,
to reconsider the other one.
now that I think about it, I also did drag you out of your cave, didn't I? Like the majestic bird that I am. I mean, think about it.
Uh-huh.
Before me, did you
Yeah.
really have any friends? I mean,
Uh-huh.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
And
This
any
is
social
great.
connections you could have gotten,
Uh-huh.
I think those are
Yeah.
just figments of your
Good job.
evil
Proud of
feeding
you. You did it. Who no one
mind.
else could have possibly done.
The other person is 100% Momo. Like, there's no other person.
Oh, they're not the ones saying it, but like
Oh, they're not the ones
they're
saying
the
it?
ones I talk to the most, though, over the course
Yeah,
of this experience.
I can't imagine anyone besides Momo saying that, though.
Oh, well, it's because like I told the story about how I hop communities
Yeah.
and stuff, and so that became like a, oh gosh, it's a hermit, you know. And
Yeah, yeah.
the people I stream with are nice and funny, and so it came up in conversation. Because what
Oh,
you see with
hold
me
on.
or what
It's
they
it's
get.
it's one of your co-hosts is taking credit for reviving your art career?
No, no, the Goblin Cave.
The Goblin Cave guy is.
No, no.
What
Not
the hell are
taking
you talking
credit
about?
for taking out of the Goblin Cave. I'm the one that took myself out of the Goblin Cave because I started
Oh,
streaming, but it's
oh. They're stupid. I don't even mean that in a mean personal way, like I usually do. I mean just like this is like the dumbest. They barely know you. How can they take credit for this? I know you and your stubbornness and how stupid you are. There's
it's
no
just
way
like
you would,
a fun
huh?
thing to
Yeah,
say.
sure, I guess. But
Because
I'm the only one who gets to say it now. Point me in the direction of the scoundrel.
Because it's a one of those. It's probably convenient that what you get is what you get when it comes to me. Like that's
Yeah,
just the experience.
yeah, yeah. I gotcha. I mean, you're also so much more tolerant than anybody else. That's why we're still friends. Because I was a real wad back in the day, where you're like, whatever. If I was you, I would have been like, I will destroy myself. But you
Oh,
were
don't
so
worry.
accepting.
You can take some credit for that because while I was gonna go, screw you, I'm leaving. You
Yeah,
started doing character stuff, and then got to actually see that you were more than just someone who only responded with emotes and you had thoughts in you
yeah.
still.
I was a person, and not a beast, but a man. I don't know. That sounds like it could be a line from Beauty and the Beast.
I can too
Um,
think of OCs, says the
uh,
beast.
it's yeah, that's pretty funny. Um, I'm surprised you stuck around for that because thinking back, all of that stuff was very like undefined and very messy and very like I want my character to be a complete power fantasy. Now I want my character to only be partially a power
Yeah, yeah,
fantasy.
exactly.
I've very much improved on the business model.
Well, I knew you were, just getting into this, and then yeah, it was fun because before that I only had someone else to machinate like characters and stories with, and gosh, I remember that's how I spent most of my time commuting, was talking with this other person with stories, and then they
Is the person that you now hate with a
no,
burning
they
passion?
they uh they went and got healthy, and getting healthy meant they had to be be put in a place where they didn't have access to their phones. And
Right,
so the relationship deteriorated because we just couldn't contact each other.
right.
And then
So
here you come with your ambitions and your crazy the ideas of putting every single power imaginable to one character, and I'm like,
yeah.
But it's funny, you saw reason, but then you'd come back to it like a week later, and then you'd see reason, and then you just do it again, repeat for a
Yeah.
year.
And then I saw Reason for the last time.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Now
then
you're okay. It's fine.
now I have a different issue, which is that I have great ideas and I forget them immediately.
Oh yeah,
And then
that's
that you remind me of my great ideas. I'm like, that's a brilliant idea, Jory. We should do what you said. You're like, it was your idea.
it's from last year.
Yes, your idea. You said it. I'm like, oh. It's always fun when I realize that your genius is in reality just my genius.
Thought we worked on it together. Some of them we worked on it together. It's a joint
Oh
effort.
yeah, of course, I know that, but it's still hilarious.
Yeah, it's like, wow,
Oh
it's
boy.
Joe, you're so supportive and smart. Yeah, supporting your past self.
Supporting things I have already supported for. Uh, my god. It's like constantly rediscovering a new flavor in essence, you know? It's like eating cherry ice cream and being like, wow,
Uh-huh.
this is delicious. I love this. And then like next time we go ice cream eating again, and then I pick the same and you suggest I get cherry flavor. I'm like, wow, that was a brilliant suggestion. This is a great flavor. And you're like, is you
It's your favorite. You get it every time.
yeah, I can see the
The
mind-boggling there.
insanity.
Yeah,
The fucking.
yeah, I get it. All right,
Mm.
who's this guy you keep raving on about, Jimbo?
Oh. Okay, so the paintery style I desire to free myself from overthinking. He has it. And not only
Yeah,
that is that he started late, like he didn't want to go into art, and then he was like, okay, I guess all my friends are going into art, I'm going to go into art. And so, he also started late. And then on top of
what
that,
age?
he
Late,
was in
like late
like I
or
think
super late?
end of high school, beginning college, I think.
Gotcha. That is pretty late.
And then on top of that, he started out as an animator, and then his teacher took him aside and was like, "You're not an animator, you're an illustrator.
Stop
Change
it.
the thing." And this wasn't like
Please.
a yeah, this wasn't a
Before
toxic
it's too
one.
late. Go. You must fly. Fly, you fool.
But yeah, this wasn't a
Uh,
toxic incident. This was a teacher who was in a position to see what was happening, taking a student aside and going, "You aren't an animator. You everything you do is illustratory. I would change your vocation now." And he
that's such
did,
a
and
sweet thing.
he got a job after school. Immediately after school, he was scouted and hired by an ad agency in Hollywood, of all things,
Yeah, yeah.
and
The Big
gosh,
Apple. Oh wait, no, that's not Hollywood.
the big
The
something.
abuse claims and
Uh huh.
horrible, horrible, horrible just horrible people.
And
Yeah, keep going.
finding art that one likes isn't that hard, right? You can find streamers who do beautiful work, but not only that, but I was watching him and he's just entertaining because all he wants to do is roleplay essentially. Like anything that happens, whether it's a raid or redeemable on his channel points, it's all in character. Like when a raid
Yeah,
comes, he pretends it's a siege coming on. He's telling people to fight and hold up your shields and yell together. And it's just
yeah,
all about
this
getting
guy
into
is
character.
this guy is very popular, not very popular on Twitch.
Um, I would say he's popular because I found him through recommended, and if someone's getting recommended,
Ah,
that means they're doing well. He
gotcha,
was
gotcha.
starved for like 2 years, I think, and then he
See,
started
man.
ramping in this last like how many months, I think, if I'm gauging this correctly.
Right. Gotcha, gotcha.
Uh,
Now, and he's become your mentor.
yeah, he's a parasocial mentor, yes.
Mentor.
As
Would
we do.
you object
Well,
to me?
I can't wait to see what you're gonna say.
Well, look, first, you
Yes.
know, I like what you're doing. I like the piece you're doing.
Uh-huh.
I like it
Uh,
very much. I like the colors. I like the liner. I like, you know what I like? I like how full it is in a way. It reminds me of like one of those Japanese wall arts, you know?
it almost has the sumi inky effect even.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot. And I don't remember you doing stuff like this very often. So what and since this is a character you made for Jimbo, what I am sensing is that he's making you a better artist, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So what I would proposition
Yeah.
is we take David and Jimbo
Oh,
and
oh
we
no.
put them in a very, very
Uh-huh.
small room.
Uh-huh.
We each give them a pencil, a
Yeah.
pencil and a pencil sharpener,
Oh.
and then we just lock the door and we see what happens. And after 72 hours, one of
Yeah.
them is still alive. That's my new mentor, and you can be left with whatever else is left in there. Whatever happened to the other guy, you could have him.
He's inside one of the pencil sharpeners. Somehow,
So yeah,
magically.
yeah, magically he is
The other guy
yeah.
is sharpening like a finger bone with a pencil.
There you go. So yeah, you what do you say?
It's you caught me off guard.
I
I
know.
had to, oh, it's a lot to take in. It's
Yeah,
so tantalizing and yet so
isn't
impossible.
it?
It's really hard
Mm,
to
yeah,
express
gotcha,
myself.
gotcha. I wonder if Jimbo would agree.
He'd probably, considering him, he would probably jump on the joke immediately because he's the person who always talks about fucking human hands on dogs and would you rather have a cat that's a tentacle legs and fucking like a
Right, right,
what's
okay.
grosser, picking your nose or picking a wedgie? That was the poll he had in the last stream I was at.
Oh
Fucking.
boy.
So yeah, it's funny that I wasn't set on participating in his community until I realized he was not only an artist whose art fuels the jealousy within me, but
Yeah,
also was an entertaining streamer. It's oh, that's see the things that you find irritating. That's like wow, this is totally unfair. I was starting to feel these these things. It's so unfair. It's so
yeah, yeah.
talented in so many ways and has this humor that I want and has the streams that I want to do where it's all about like character
You
interactions and like
you
fake scenarios that you just
yeah.
propagate with your own imagination. I'm like, God damn it, God damn
Well, it's great that you found them because now you have
it.
a baseline model to destroy and consume, right?
Uh-huh.
It's like me with that one tantalizing piece of art that the artist made once and then never again, you know?
Well,
Uh, Yeah.
Observant too, annoyingly observant, because when I was first checking him out, you see tons of talented artists, so I didn't feel the need to follow. And he has this D20 water check where, if he rolls 11 and above, he gets to drink his drink, and
Oh,
if he
that's that
doesn't, yeah, he doesn't get to drink at all. And so I'm like, all right, if you roll a positive, I'll follow you. And I redeemed my first D20. And I got over, I was like, okay, I'll follow you. And he's like, did you just follow me because you rolled high? And I'm like, yes. I did.
guy. Oh, I bet he appreciated that though.
I think
I
he
bet.
did. Because he's like,
Yeah.
that's weird. I dig it. You're having fun, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. Oh boy. Man, I want to find that too. I want to find somebody I can destroy and then consume their art of. Right now, it's just you for the most part.
Yeah, it's really sparse and desolate, I know.
Uh, every time I see you get any success in art, I'm like, I will. How dare you move beyond me even further? It spurs
He
my
did.
anger. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
like it's so much easier to. Going way back to what we said as a little like tangent at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think a big issue with my last stream was that I didn't know what I was going to do going in, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that just sapped my motivation a lot as well. But at least with this, I know that I'm just going to finish this comic page, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's that, and it's going to take a while, so I can just work on it continuously,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and it helps keep me motivated because I have a goal in mind. But yeah, let's go back to Jimbo and
Oh.
the heat of passion. Did you see the meme I sent you?
Uh. We all make mistakes in the
Yeah.
Jimbo. That's funny.
That's like an entire meme format. This is like perfect for this guy.
Oh yeah,
If you
I'll take it and post it into his
if you
memes
want
right
extra
now.
brownie, if you want extra brownie points, you could literally. I don't know if he has an avatar, but you could draw an avatar version for him.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Man, okay, I
Are you
guess
gonna
I'll.
are you gonna simp that hard?
I could, I guess. It's not that difficult.
Yeah, there you go. There you
What's
go.
it?
Be a good little simp.
Oh yeah, and so one of the things with the D20 water check he has is that if he rolls a 20, which is, good for he's the one rolling, so whenever it's
Yeah.
good, it's bad for the person who rolled. Um that means that you have to do 2 minutes of stick figures, which is the penalty if he rolls a 1. It's just now you have to do it and post it in the Discord, which is his like little community hub, or you're
Yeah.
banned from his channel. You are banned. You can never return. You are blacklisted. And
That's cool.
yeah, like I was kind of like, heart of the cards. I didn't want to get involved into another community because I didn't need to. Like that's a lot of work being involved in a community. Like
Yeah.
Toasty was a handful by itself, and now me trying to grow my own channel and stuff, it's like, who needs to be participating in anything? I already have my plate full. But it was so endearing being a part of this community, and getting random art lessons from this person while also being entertained, that I was like, okay, I'll let the dice decide again. If he rolls a
Yeah.
20, then I'll join the Discord. 2 months pass.
Yeah.
I get one after one after one. I am knocking sticks out of the park. And then
Yeah.
the very end of that, I finally get the 20. And it's the day I pour water on, or no, I pour coffee on my tablet. That's the day I
Oh,
rolled
that
I
was
got
the
to
day. Yay. I remember that day very fondly.
Uh-huh. And so that was the day I did the stick figures with my paper and my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that sounds fun though. I mean, it sounds like a great community to be a part of, and an easy thing for me to rob from you. And
Uh-huh. It's a lot more quiet than the impression was made on stream, I will admit. But it's getting noisier and noisier the more people become regulars. It's a little bit like Poseidon, where, stuff happens when certain people are around, and when the certain people aren't there, it's quiet.
yeah, gotcha. That's
Mm.
that's like the community hinges on one or two main boys. What you call them? The cunts.
I think the funniest part of it so far is there's this one guy who I never see in the streams. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the entire server is themed after a jail cell because this guy really likes
Oh, nice.
souls and symbology and all that. And so
Yeah.
in the library, this one guy named Stone continually posts work of like classical painters that I've never, would even never have found before. And the library is where you post the work of other people that aren't yourself. And every
Right,
day,
right.
it's always a new person. And he's like, one person was like in the stream, who's the guy always posting art in the library? And he's like, that's our librarian. You will pay him respect. Just go on your own business. Don't mind the librarian.
Oh boy, that's pretty good.
But yeah, it's cute.
Such a natural response. Who is it?
Oh,
Did
it's
you not
just some
listen?
random person. Yeah, it's the librarian. Did you read? It's a library now.
Like, gosh darn, yeah. Don't be a fool.
We have a what's it called? A feedback fountain. It got renamed because it was too similar to the Crit Crypt, which is where he critiques things. And it's the crypt that randomly opens up at random intervals. Like, the crypt is open. Submit your stuff now.
Yeah.
But the regular one is a feedback fountain, where it got pretty active recently because he's very good at promoting stuff really subtly, and I've been taking notes, like paying compliments to things and name dropping affects people. They want to like participate in the thing that the streamer, compliments and puts attention on. And it's so ingenious because he does it ever so often. He started off with going, "Ah yes, our critique room is active," and then it didn't do much, and then he started name dropping people, and then and then everyone started joining the just started joining the critiques. I'm like, oh god
Yeah.
damn, that was good.
I guess it's because people love to be noticed by senpai.
You're right. It's
You
always
know?
senpai. Notice me, please.
Yeah. It's like senpai, yes, senpai. Uh, Hold on, I'm gonna interrupt you real quick. What do you think
Mm-hmm.
of the speech bubbles? Do you think the
Oh,
border is
let me
too
see.
thick, or do you think it's fine?
Let me see it full. Oh, it's fine. Narration, like a narrator in the background, or thoughts that aren't even part of the character tend to be squares.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like, do you think the border for the
Oh my god.
squares is big?
It's good for how thick the line art is, I think. I could go maybe a
Yeah.
little smaller to differentiate it from the border, but I think
Mm,
that's a good size. Yeah.
Let me see. What size was it even? It was size 25. See, let's see the difference. If I just do this. Well, that doesn't work. I have to do it on a separate layer.
Oh, I could just keep talking about it because he launched a plushie recently, and what he
Yeah.
did, apparently this is deep in the Jimbo lore. There's something called Jimbetta, and it was him drawn with like a really voluptuous lips and a big braid and stuff, and that's
Yeah.
everyone simps for Jimbetta. So when he did his product launch, he got someone to be the voice of Jimbetta, and
Right.
they staged a whole like oh, I'm breaking up with you. Also, this is our child. Look, baby Jimbo, the plushie. I left him
Yeah.
behind the dumpster. You have to go get him now. And the running gag is he's taking care of a kid now in between streams, and he has pictures of him holding this plushie by the legs and like
Yeah, yeah.
stuff like that.
It's oh god, how long has the guy been in this industry to be doing all of this stuff
Well, he
so
got this
naturally?
really
Yeah,
cushy, not cushy, but like, I guess it is cushy, but he went straight into the professional industry out of school because of his job, from what I can understand. And then
yeah,
he felt like he stagnated because all he had to do was work, and that was it. He didn't improve or grow himself because, you did work, I'm done, I'm gonna go chill. And then he started
yeah,
streaming to get out of that, to work on his personal stuff, which is why he's opening up a print shop and selling plushies now. And I think he's gonna
yeah.
do a tarot card deck, which I'm looking forward to. I hope he doesn't back out of that
Oh
because I
yeah,
swear to fucking god, I will. um,
yeah, a tarot card deck in the style that you crave the most.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And so I think he's been working for 6 years, but I think
Oh,
it's his personality because, there's people, concept artists who are doing amazing stuff that look like it should be done by computers, but not nearly as much views because they're like they're not the jokey type, they're not the roleplay type. Like you come into
yeah,
Jimbos, you're gonna get weird concepts, you're gonna get role playing, you're gonna get D&D, you're gonna get souls and dark humor, and then at the
yeah,
very end of it you get a bunch of art tips, whereas everyone
yeah,
else is like complaining, maybe talking about the weather, nothing in particular, maybe being completely silent. And while a lot
yeah,
of people can
yeah.
get away with that, the fast growth I see is that sort of engagement. So I feel
Right,
like
right, right.
that might be the answer in my theory, at least. That's what I think it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, that's interesting. How old is he? I would like to know.
Oh, I think he just turned like 30.
Oh gosh, he's right behind you.
Yeah, that's also like I have to, oh
Yeah.
yeah, someone who has the things I want, and I'm lagging so behind. Oh yes, that's
Oh,
great.
don't worry about it. I mean, you would have always had this feeling.
Yeah, but at least I'd
I
have
can tell.
money, money, with
Money.
the money. Who cares about all day money?
Oh boy, are you gonna change the caption to be something else?
Ah, you. What am I gonna change it to? What would I even change it to?
I don't know, Jimbo. Stop jerking off.
Uh,
We all
20
make
gigs
mistakes in the
of
heat of passion.
of uh uh
Yeah,
um
yeah,
of
uh-huh.
he likes all the Souls games. I don't. There's nothing illegal about that.
You can just switch out memes with Soul's game, and then there you have it, right?
mm,
If you wanna do it that way.
mm.
Something about a sun. Man caught hucking son over fence of Mexico.
I guess I'll think on that. Um, I'm also getting insight on streams because apparently memeing about the human body is something that they don't, snag people on. But he did one anatomy lesson that wasn't jokey. It was serious and educational. Didn't have any nipples, didn't have anything bad. But it focused
Hmm.
on the woman body. And that was the video that got taken down. That got
Boy.
targeted. Imagine joking about boobs is passable, but you start teaching about boobs. No, no, no. You can't teach about boobs.
No, of course not.
Illegal.
What was he thinking, that fool?
But you know what gets fine? He does this thing where when people raid him, he shows their work, and they're the only people that can link stuff in chat is they link their socials because they raided. And then if it's a raunchy piece, he's like, "Oh, look at this detail right here," and he starts zooming in to a very suspicious spot, and he just keeps
Yeah.
"Oh yes, this is great," and then last minute, this button right here, a U move basically. It's very much a U move.
Oh boy. I get it. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, you get it
It
because
sounds
it's
like
something you
a
do.
maybe. Shush now. Maybe I'll check him out. Maybe I'll check him out and get some ideas for what the hell I want to do. You know, it sounds like a fine place to kind of steal from.
I mean, if you want to
Uh,
join the Discord and check it out.
no, nope. I don't
No.
like touching what you touch. It's disgusting. Nah. It's the fun you have. You know. I don't want to elbow my way in, and also I have no interest in joining another community right now. You
Yeah.
know. I might check out a few streams though to see what the guy's personality is like and how he talks, and get a read on him, like beep 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 beep, beep, you
Beep
know.
boop.
And then I'll see. But yeah, one thing I wanted to note is like this piece looks like any other piece, but you add the speech bubbles and suddenly it looks so much more professional. It's like, wow, this is actually a comic. Yeah, it's like, oh, random crap comic.
The monkey brain. See comic. What comic?
Oh, comic. Uh, it's funny because I didn't thumbnail this at all. I just picked the first thing because I was so depressed.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to work on something. But yeah, it worked out fine. I'm sure I could have come up with something else if I thumbnailed it, but I think I have to improve my thumbnailing skills anyways, because I take too much time thumbnailing them. Remember when I took 3 hours to thumbnail stuff?
Yep, I remember.
That was fun. It turned out well though. Turned
Oh,
out super
that's
cinematic.
also something irritating. He was doing a storyboard, but it was a better storyboard than you see, like, even in the industry, because, one, he had all the time, but two, he had the, like, thought to do it, and that's also irritating.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Was it? You know Alan Moore, the guy who did Watchmen and
Right.
Batman: The Killing Joke.
Uh-uh.
He has a master class. You know, like the
Uh-huh.
thing where like the celebrities or whatever of their respective industries make like a class for it. Like I think Gordon Ramsay teaches cooking or blah blah blah. It's not that interesting, but they posted some snippets on YouTube, and the guy is just like, I don't know. Have you ever seen Alan Moore speak? First of all, he looks like he looks like Karl Marx and Santa Claus combined. You know?
That's an impressive combination.
Yeah. He looks like that, and he freaking. Oh my god! I have to just pull a picture up of him because I really didn't expect him to look like that at all. Here, let me just make this blue and pause this. Um, yeah, he. Oh my god! Yeah, did you expect him to look? Hold on now. Where'd you go?
That
Did you expect him to look like this? Look at this. That
was
is Karl
that is
Marx
that the
and Santa Claus.
guy who made Watchmen?
Yeah, that's the guy who made
Okay, I can
Watchmen.
kind of see it. Like Watchmen is the experience.
Yeah. The way he speaks also very much falls in line with that. At first, I was like, "Who the hell is this guy?" And then I looked him up, and I was like, "Oh, of course he made Watchmen." He's,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
such
yeah. See, like he looks like the guy that would write Watchmen.
yeah. The little snippets they posted was him, like everything he says is dripping with sarcasm. You know,
Nice.
like they asked him like, "Oh, how do you get inspired?" or like, "What's your creative process?"
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then he was like, I think the first thing he said was like, "Oh, I love it when people tell me how great I am." You know, and then I get a cup of tea, and then I get some biscuits, and I especially like the biscuits with chocolate at the end. You know, the little chocolate elephants, and that was it. That was the whole clip. There's nothing else.
What a chat.
And then another one, he shot all over superpowers. He was like, what the fuck am I gonna do with like super speed? in real life. Can you imagine if superpowers were real? All the people with super speed, they'd just be delivery guys, you know? They would just be the fastest delivery guys around, but otherwise it's just useless, you know? And then that was it. That was the whole clip as well. He's just shitting on superpowers. It just all in all sounds it seems like a really funny guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I forgot why I mentioned him, but Alan Moore, pretty funny.
I think we're just talking about people who leave an impression on us. You
Oh
know?
yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Oh yeah, right. I was gonna say find people who irritate you. Oh God, was it Alan Moore who said this? God damn it. Yeah, it was. Yeah, this was where the link was, right? Alan Moore said that don't read good stories is what he said. He
Oh
said
yeah, you
read
sent me that clip.
read the worst stories you could
Oh,
find.
wait.
Yeah.
I, so I realized this early on because maybe it was because I needed to justify my tendency to salvage because it
Yeah.
irritates a lot of people when you can enjoy
Yeah.
bad things. But it's really fun dissecting bad things, and it ties into that. So the thing that I wanted to do that I just couldn't follow through with was my friend really loved werewolves, and there's no good story about werewolves. It's like having
Right,
something
right, right.
so popular that everyone does something with it, but then no one does it well, so you just never get any good content.
You never get the satisfaction.
Yeah, but she ran into a writer that came from, our town, and they were
Yeah.
just selling a book that they like, published themselves in paperback, and and she had him sign it before, no one knows what the story's about, but they're like, oh, just please sign it, cause, and it's like, yes, have a brave heart, little one, as you read the story. And what it is the what's some of the worst things I've ever read. It was so bad
Huh?
that it was even hard to laugh about.
Oh gosh, I
And
thought this was gonna be an inspiring story of how she finally found what she needed.
no, and it was so disappointing that it made her so angry that we were like, oh, we should rewrite it. We should just read this book, but also rewrite it to how we would want it to be. And it would be an
Yeah,
excellent creative exercise.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I got like 3 pages in, but no one else wanted to do it with me, so I lost motivation.
Right, right, right. What was so bad about it? What was the? Do you remember the plot off the top of your head?
Oh, it's probably not that bad, but it was more of like the expectation of it sounded like this guy, he slaved away at it and
Right,
polished it to the point where it finally got accepted by a publisher. And this
right,
is
right.
this is the,
The
lasting,
result.
yes.
Yeah.
And what it read like was, what you go through to fanfiction.net and then you look up
Uh,
you look up vampire Twilight fanfiction, and
was
it's like,
there a
ah,
character who was suspiciously similar to the author?
oh no, I'm really susceptible to bad pacing. So when it starts off with never would have expected something. Oh, I am bent an angry monster, and now, and then we go back to the beginning. Ah, yes, we started off with I'm going to school one day, and then oh
Uh,
no, look, werewolves are everywhere, and also it's a war, and then also like it was a chaotic mess of a lot of big events happening at once, and how am I supposed to care about any of
did it?
it?
Well, did it feel like it was working backwards in the plot?
Ah, yeah, it did.
Like when you have a big idea for a finish,
And you
and then you're
slap
like,
it in the first sentence. Yeah, it felt like that.
yeah, for that, yeah, there's some. It's like a really beginnerish writing mistake. It's like you should never work backwards like that. You
And
know, it's like let the characters tell you the story or something. That's what Oda does from One Piece, right? And
mm,
it seems to work for him. But like if you have something in mind, like a big showdown you want between two characters, don't work backwards from the showdown, you know. And then that's what they did for the new Star Wars movie. It's like, oh, we have to do this, so this happens, and this has to lead to this, and this has to lead to this, so that we the characters. It's like the plot is leading the characters everywhere by the
mm.
hand, you know. Boy. And what was so bad about? Why did you lose motivation for rewriting it? Was it too terrible?
Oh, it's not fun, without other people to do it with. Cause
Right, right, right.
it is a big thing to do. Normally I stop at conceptualization, where maybe I'll like certain aspects of a thing and then I'll just stuff it in my library of stuff that, or polish out the concept for myself and then leave it at that. But writing, you know how long it takes me to condense something into the conciseness. That's so much
Yeah,
effort.
yeah.
And then while it's
Oh,
cool
the
and
conciseness. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I gotcha.
it
Say no more.
yeah, it's basically that. Um,
Yeah, I gotcha. I gotcha, girl. Don't you worry about it.
mm.
Don't you
Oh,
worry about it.
but there was something else that I wanted to do. Like I'm okay with skip beat style of drawing, but it's also not a style for everybody. And so in my effort to try and get people to read skip beat, one of the things that came up was like, oh gosh, I wish the style was something different. And so when I was like, oh, maybe I'll just redraw it as an exercise, like a personal use only, you know, to to try out like what could I learn from this by doing it again as a study. And
Yeah, yeah.
I did that for a few pages, and it was actually I did learn a lot from it. But I think it was good for me to stop because there was a lot of holes in my education that I needed to fill before I
Right.
could do it. If I did it now, man, that would be a lot more fun because, man, what I know now, I could just.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Could really get into it.
yeah.
See, my question is, why is Skip Beat still ongoing?
You know what? I don't know. That's a good
Like,
question.
how many? Like, okay, like something like One Piece, and not just because I read One Piece actively, I can cut more slack, because it seems like the adventure isn't done. The adventure is there. You gotta da 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 da. Like Luffy in episode 1, he's like, I'm gonna become king of the pirates, and
Mm-hmm.
now it's like chapter 1,550,000 million, and he's still like, I'm gonna be king of the pirates.
Mm-hmm.
So is Skip Beat something like that? Is he like, I'm gonna be the king of the skipping
Oh, oh well,
or something?
this is why that entire story surprised me. Is that yeah, I came in looking for shoujo junk food. I just wanted to read a little, romance plot, and then you never look at it again. But what I got was this girl who was basically used by her friend to further his own career, and she was
Yeah.
basically his errand boy, working 3 jobs minimum wage just to give him the living conditions he deserved, and then he just tosses her away. So what she does is go an unhealthy rampage of revenge. Oh, I'm gonna beat him at his own game. I'm gonna be the best fucking who cares, a singer, an actor, who even cares. I'm gonna be
Yeah, yeah.
so big that he's gonna grovel at my feet and it's gonna be amazing. And so it turns into her just walking into an agency going, hello, I'm here for revenge. Give me the best acting job you have. And of course they kick her out.
Yeah.
And at that point, like it becomes a thing where she goes through the legit process of learning how to act while her beginning motives are bad. She genuinely does the studies through hijinks and whatever events, and
Yeah.
it starts her on the path of, becoming an actual talented actor. Enter in
Is
a
it
touch of occult, enter a touch of shonen, like how does she defeat this foe? And then amazing acting technique happens just by, whatever,
is it
insane
like,
manga logic.
oh god, is it like that workout manga where it actually is viable workout tips?
Um, Questionable.
Yeah.
But not bad. It's a cathartic in terms of maybe a role player's perspective. Like if you like hearing about people getting in character or method acting or, people associating with characters that they play. Yeah, right now the
Yeah.
journey and the content is, oh, what role is she gonna get next? How does she perfect it? How does she overcome the hardships of this movie or show or working
Yeah.
alongside her rival on a music video. What the
Oh
fuck?
my god. Yeah.
And so I
And
think,
it's still ongoing.
yeah, the one piece is when is she gonna be the most popular actress? And then
Right.
and the side plot is, oh, is she gonna get with the love interest? Oh, who
And
knows?
have they still not gotten together after all this time?
I haven't caught up with it, but it doesn't seem like they will. And honestly, I don't think they should until the end because, that will defeat the
Is the
pull,
love
right?
is
No
the
one
love
wants the main characters to be a pair, and I think it would fit nicely. She gets what she wants without,
yeah.
revenge isn't the point anymore. It's for herself. And then thus she gets exactly what she wants, which is to be a banging actress. And then at the very, cherry on top is the love interest that I figured out that I'm in love with. It's working out. Wow, look.
But is the love interest a rival?
Hmm. No.
See, then they should just get together. I don't like stories where they have a clear love interest from day one and they tease it out until the end. You know? Like that's so tiring to me.
Well, it depends how long it is, because it could be a natural progression or it could be, a drawn out progression.
Sure, it seems drawn out with the length of the how long it's been going on. But yeah, we should probably stop stream
Oh, okay,
like
okay.
soon.
Yeah, yeah. You want to stop it
Uh,
now?
yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna keep working on this and then just show it off next time, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oop.
All right, all right. All right, thanks. Whoever may or may not be here, I can't tell. All right.
Nobody's here.
Bye bye.
Bye.